up and get it. All I'm focused on is winning. He not gonna cheat code. We win until the clock gon' hit zero. I'm fighting my way back like I was Nemo. Do it, I am a dynamic duo. Win, 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 and win. That's right, my nickname is winning. Gotta walk in the building, gotta inspire the children. When they see my ambition, I'm not a regular civilian. Give me all I got. I'm going to the top. Gotta go up to the top, won't stop. I'm gonna be the man, yeah, I gotta cut a knot. Haters really on me, tryna take my spot. But we go up, yeah, we never gon' drop. Alright, yeah. 1, 2, 3, mic check, what's up? 2, 3 on my back, it's tough. Light years ahead, just call me Buzz. Hitting a shot in sync with the buzz. I feel like Joel Embiid, the process, yeah, I trust. Accolades got them swallowing the words, cause I know that they doubted us. Touch her, touch, can't touch this. I know they throwing that dirt on my name. When I check on my tag, it be spotless. Look in the mirror and snap my fingers and point like you know you got this. Winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man. Who gon' stop this? No one. Give me all I got. I'm going to the top. I'm going in. Right on the way to the top. 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 I'm going in. Flip the letter I stick it. I came from the bottom to the top, but I'm not finished. I just needed me a minute. Standing attention, lieutenant. I gotta get up and get it. All I'm focused on is winning. He not gonna cheat code. We win until the clock gon' hit zero. I'm fighting my way back like I was Nemo. Do it, I am a dynamic duo. Win, 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 and win. That's right, my nickname is winning. Gotta walk in the building, gotta inspire the children. When they see my ambition, I'm not a regular civilian. Give me all I got. I'm going to the top. I'm going in. Right on the way to the top. 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 Did it, I did it, I did it. I'm going in. Got me like what? Gotta go up to the top, won't stop. I'm gonna be the man, yeah, I gotta cut a knot. Haters really on me, tryna take my spot. But we go up, yeah, we never gon' drop.
Hello, guys. Welcome to League of Legends and South Asia Team Madness alongside Hades today. And unfortunately for you guys, we only have one best of three. Usually, we have two best of these on any given day during the league stage. But game one was forfeited by Jettfire's Dojo. We're getting that info right now. I think some players were not available, so they gave a walkover. PNX, on the other hand, will be walking away with all 3 points, securing more points in that leaderboard. And I think that means good things for them for that fourth spot, doesn't it, Hades?
Yeah, it definitely does look like it will be good for them. Having 3 points is always a good thing. So that would mean, yeah, I think they would have a shot at actually securing that fourth place. So let's see how things turn out.
Yeah, I think a lot of that depends on our series today because it's going to be a team that is the ones close enough to that fourth mark right next to Syndicate because you'll see matchup. But before that, you can see the league table over here. SUVO Esports, Cacao Gaming, and Revenants have pretty much secured that top three spots for themselves in that respective order. Phoenix Ascension are the ones currently sitting at fourth place after their walkover today, have those entire 10 points to their names right now. They do also have one game left to play, only have played 7 out of the 8, so that's even more points that will be followed up. Syndicate, unfortunately, have been knocked down to 5 after PNX Ascension going up, but they also have 2 games compared to the 1 game that Phoenix Ascension have left. SUVO haters will be playing their ultimate game today. Poro Patrol also have 1 game left to play, and I think RPG and Jettfire Dojo are, I think, a bit out of the running given the current standings in this leaderboard. I don't think the math will allow them, but what these teams are playing for is that gigantic prize pool, that 10 lakh INR prize pool, as well as a spot at the LCP wildcard playoffs for the people who will be eventual champions.
Yeah, and also like you said, it's going to be, I guess, a battle for fourth place between Syndicate and PNX here, and it all depends on how Syndicate actually play their next 2 matches. So it's going to be super interesting. I think it's going to be really close. But don't forget to tune in, guys, because very soon the playoffs will be kicking in. That is from July 25th to August 3rd, and that is when we're going to, right now at least, where we are. And looking at the tournament format, you can see it's going to be full fearless draft, and the top 4 are going to be battling it out in the double elimination format in the playoffs. So I'm super excited to see who goes forward. Of course, I am supporting the Sri Lankan team PNX, but you can never know because Syndicate have shown that they are a team to look out for in this tournament madness.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think even SUVO haters are out of the running. I know they have fewer games compared to the rest of the teams right now, but they for a long time were securing that fourth place. Like we said, I think the first 3 have secured. It's a battle for that fourth place who will make it out to those double elimination playoffs and which of these teams will actually fall into it. Like you said, it's a very closely fought competition. Syndicate have a very good chance. PNX have a very good chance. SUVO haters slightly lesser chance compared to the other 2 teams in front of them. It's going to be a huge factor about how they play out against each other, and they don't have any small feat. They are playing against the third place team today, so it's going to be hard. And even if they have any chance of actually making it, they have to win the series 2-0, which is going to be a feat that's not easily accomplished. But as you can see, today's BO3, the second BO3 of today, guys, but it's the only one we can actually show you, is SUVO haters versus Revenants. SUVO haters on the blue side, Revenants on the red side, and Revenants look to be playing pretty good. I think we also have some roster shuffling going on within them with lane swaps coming in. It looks like AK-45 will be going to the top side. Bob will be playing the mid lane. Potatoes back on support like he was doing last weekend. Shoxikun will be the ADC. So it's a lot of mix and matchups over there. Only Ezreal and Shoxikun playing their actual roles, but SUVO haters have come out firing with all 5 of their actual members today. So this should be something that they have to watch out for because SUVO haters have been known a bit as the dark horse in the competition, have started off very strong, have fallen off in recent times, but maybe are looking to pick up that form once again.
Yeah, and now as we have entered the pick and ban phase, you can see that Vladimir has been taken off the board by SUVO haters, probably going towards, since it's a flexible pick that can be played mid or top, and also just very good late game scaling, I can understand why that pick would be a problem. And Revenants answering with a topside ban of their own, taking out the Yorick from the table. They don't want to have to deal with, Wifey and the split push that Yorick can provide, can be a very annoying champion to play into, especially if you're not familiar with the matchup. Let's see what they're going to proceed with. I have a feeling there's going to be more topside heavy focus bans, considering the most of the meta nowadays revolves mainly around mid, top, and jungle, rather than emphasis on the bot lane. But Lux actually being taken. Maybe this is to prevent the Lux and Caitlyn combination, in case that is something Revenants are looking out for.
I think they wanted to just take it away from Bob, because Bob has been known to play Lux a lot, plus his Blitzcrank, and Lux in mid lane with Bob will also be something that they have to look out for. But the Vladimir ban against AK-45 definitely warrants it. The Yorick ban against RD, the Yone coming in against Avoid, so AK-45 doesn't want to lane against that side. They've banned out the Lux, they're banning out the Caitlyn as well. So they're trying to target Shoshikun. They pretty much know that Potato will be giving support, so they don't have to target this Tristana, they don't have to target this Smolder. They have to actually go for what Shoxikun's champ pool is and what he actually prefers. Let's see what Revenant's last ban would be. I'm maybe assuming an Aatrox getting banned, or even a Smolder, because one above all likes to play the champion, but I don't think there might be a problem. But no, it is going to be that little dragon that ends up hitting the deck. One of all won't be allowed to first pick that first. I think they were maybe itching to go for something like that. Let's see what it actually instores. I really want to see how Bob adjusts, because we've seen only Bob once before in Legends and actually make that switch over to the mid side. I think he played Annie that time, and he played it pretty well as well.
Yeah, and maybe they want to pick a Tristana. Yep. Because you can see, like, in this tournament, Tristana has been also one of those staple picks in the bot lane. Has very good scaling, has a very safe laning phase, pairs up well with so many good supports, engage supports as well as enchanters, and even can be flexed into the mid lane as well. So a very good pickup here. And I think the answer is probably going to be something like a Kai'Sa Nautilus, maybe, just to provide some lockdown. Or we might even see Jhin paired alongside some good CC in the bot lane. Instead, they choose to go for Viego, that Asian. We've seen this champion banned against him before in the tournament, and now he's actually getting full access to play this. Let's see what the answer is going to be from the side of SUVO haters. They're hovering the Wally Bear, and they have locked it in, so could be going top, could be going jungle. Also another flexible pick here as well. Let's see if they kind of want to round out their draft by picking up a strong support. For this Tristana, I feel like they could maybe look to try to secure something like a Nautilus for themselves here, or even a Rel to add some, team fight. But instead, they're going to go with a Braum to, provide some extra safety, some extra peel. So not the most aggressive setup, really, but still a setup that really works in terms of what their game plan is going to be heading into this game one in this best of three.
Yeah, like you said, is protect that Tristana, let her get the resets of jumping out of fights. It could be good. But on the side of Revenants, they've gone for way more comfort picks, because Shoxikun's most played champion would be the Jhin. SDN is very comfortable on the Viego, does pretty well. Potato Monster is going to be playing the Janna. That's something you guys have never heard me say before, that Potato Monster will be playing Janna, and that's exactly what we're going to treat ourselves to over here. Mind you guys, Revenants have had a bit of role swap, so it's going to be a bit topsy-turvy in how their draft goes, depending on that. But Jhin Janna combo against the Tristana Braum. The Tristana Braum should be winning out every single time if they play it correctly over there and line up as much as they want. If the Peel is not coming in, as well as the Tornado's not coming in from the Janna to prevent Tristana, like, you have to time it very perfectly against her W, but it's going to be up to see how Potato plays, because I've never honestly seen Potato play. But the Wukong ban will be starting to come in against RD, so we have targeted him quite a bit. The Syndra ban against Bob, they still not banned his Annie, that's the one that he played, so maybe the research is not being done on the correct side for the side of SUVO haters, because they know that Bob should be playing that mid side. Maybe they should be adopting to that, but no, the Mord gets banned out. This leaves open the Aatrox open in case Volibear is going jungle. So Void has a lot of opportunities, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be an Void over them. I'm not sure RD wants to go for this, but like you said, it's a flex pick. Let's see what he actually wants to adapt to. It depends on the next picks and bans coming up. But finally, the Annie gets banned out. I think they're hearing the stream guys on the side, but because Annie gets banned out from AK-45 as we continue on with the draft.
Yeah, and what you were saying earlier, I just want to emphasize the fact that I don't really think that Tristana and Braum are going to have an easy lane. Jhin and Janna can be such a toxic combo in the early game. The added safety, the range that they have, and also the early game damage that they're going to have is going to prove a little bit troublesome, I would feel, for the Tristana and Braum, especially because like you said, a very good time tornado, and even the ultimate can just knock Tristana completely out of her rocket jump. So it's going to be interesting how the laning dynamics go. But the answer is going to be the Ahri, and like you said, the Aatrox has been left open and is going to be picked up by Void. He has been notorious on this champion, and he'll be playing comfort out in that top lane. And you could see that they probably look to try to round out their draft here with a good mid laner into the Ahri. Silas is open here, also a good pickup, and there's a lot of good ultimates that you can actually steal away. Let's see if they're up to go into that route, or maybe something like oh, okay, so it's a Tristana mid lane.
Exactly, like you're talking about, it's a flex, right? So the Tristana's actually probably going into the hands of Itachi. We haven't seen him play much AD mids of time. We've seen him play a lot of control mages. Italy is one of the things he's famous for. But like you said, flex Tristana probably going with the Kai'Sa with the Braum bot side. That changes things a lot, and it looks like AK-45 is going for more of that traditional, going with the Shen top side instead. Maybe there might even be role swaps coming in later on in stages. Maybe AK-45 will actually end up going mid, Bob going top side, if they're talking about who's more comfortable where, because this is how they're switching it up, and it does look like Itachi will be piloting the Tristana. The Kai'Sa Braum combo bot side is good, but the Jhin does have range on you. Like you said, poking with the Jhin as well as the Janna makes it much more effect against the Kai'Sa compared to a Tristana, because Tristana, you sometimes have avenues of maybe going in, but with the Kai'Sa you have to play a bit more safe. It depends if you start getting those Braum stacks coming in and those level 1 invades, because you do have a Braum. This is something you can maybe look for actually early stages going here. But RD on the Volibear, I don't think we've seen his Volibear as of yet in Legends Ascent. Not something that we've seen him, but we've seen the Void time and time again on the Aatrox, and we know that he is one of the star players in SUVO, and he has the ability to carry out these team fights.
Yeah, and also I'm just having a look now. I don't really like Tristana into Ahri, because you're essentially just giving a free charm a mid rocket jump if she times it correctly, and also Ahri can just easily poke down this ADC. She's always going to have the advantage in terms of push. She's always going to have, the tempo advantage. And also, like, Tristana has only one rocket jump versus 3 dashes with the Spirit Rush that Ahri has, on top of having all that extra burst and mobility. So it's probably not going to be a very exciting matchup for Itachi in the mid lane. But again, it depends on how Bob really plays this Ahri. He's playing an off role, right? And not really. So yeah, it's still going to be up to these players to show that they can, impact the map in more positive ways. If I give the scaling advantage to any team, I 100% give it to the side of SUVO haters. They have a Tristana, they have a Kai'Sa, they have an Aatrox, and even Volibear on full build is just such a menace, because you can just turn off turrets and it's, dive city from that point onwards. And whereas for Revenants, they just have this very strong kind of early to mid-game draft that can just absolutely snowball into out of control if they're given the agency and are the ones making proactive plays on this. They do have that Shen ultimate, to keep their ADC extra safe, but Jhin is one of those ADCs that does tend to kind of fall off in the late game, as is not essentially a DPS champion, but more of a AD caster. But still, it's entirely up to Revenants to kind of just, make this early to mid-game composition work. And SUVO haters, with their backs against the wall, let's see if they're able to withstand the storm that Revenants are going to be bringing to the table in this matchup. Whereas, what do you think is likely going to be the result of this first match? Who do you see favoring the draft, and who do you see winning out this first game based on what we see so far?
I would say just slight preference to SUVO, not just because of their draft, just because of their roles and what they're more comfortable on right now, because you are seeing a couple of roles swaps coming in. AK-45 with that Ahri, I think he's going to put a lot of pressure onto Itachi mid lane. Like I said, we've not seen much of his style, we've not seen much of ADC playing. He's more used to playing control mages. Even then, has a tendency to fall a bit behind in lane. So now, with so much added poke coming in with the Ahri against him, I think he's going to have a very, very rough time. But Avoid is one of the relieving factors in the top side, how well he can do against Bob. Like we said, Bob is a bit on an off roll, usually a support, but as a support, he'll have a tendency to have big plate share a lot of times. So he will also be very comfortable on the champion, how he has to start around, and he will be protecting his Jhin. But like you said, Jhin does fall a bit behind later on. The DPS won't be coming in as fast as possible. The Tristana will be belting it out, especially after the Warriors build up coming in for him. But Kai'Sa is also there. He can go in deep in these fights. Depends all on that. Volibear is a good front tank as well in these fights, but it's also about Potato Monster, because Potato Monster is not a traditional support. It's about how well he can feel for his Jhin, how well those tornadoes are going to come in, how well those ultimates are going to be coming in against a more traditional bot side, because the bot side of SUVO haters have always been a bit of a hit and miss. Either they go 100 or they go 0. It's kind of like that. There's no in between going with them. If one of the ball slightly even falls behind early on in laning phases, he has a tendency to fall off and not ever get to a point where he's a crucial factor in these games. But if he does get those 1 or 2 kills early on, he has that tendency to go for that snowball, actually become a fight potential over here. And with that problem, with those passives coming in, I hope to see them try to get a bit proactive against the bot lane who are not that well adjusted to playing with each other.
Yeah, and also, again, it's all good. Like, there's a lot of pressure on them, because at the end of the day, if you look at the skill on paper, I would say that Revenants definitely have the more stacked team in this, but they also have the potential to get completely outscaled, which they ideally do not want to happen. So they're going to have to play proactively in the early game, look to play around securing early dragons, maybe even, try to even pick up the grubs for themselves and set up a very good tempo advantage if they want to try to win this. But if I were them, I would not let this Tristana Kai'Sa comp, double ADC comp go into the late game, because that's going to spell disaster for them. But again, you never know, because as you said, SUVO haters are playing their main roles, whereas Revenants are kind of playing a little bit on their off roles. So a lot is going to depend on how I feel Ezian is going to really, impact the map in the early stages of the game. Usually Viego is a champion who kind of wants to full clear, get his resets, and, then start looking to impact the map once he has a couple of items, at least a couple of components, rather than looking for the, the early level 1, level 2, level 3 ganks. That still can go in their favor, but considering his team comp lacks a little bit of engage, I don't really see that happening. But let me also highlight, Madness, that this current patch, we are seeing some buffs to some items like Blade of the Ruined King, Kraken Slayer, items that Viego loves to purchase, and is definitely going to help him out in this. And Ezian has shown time and time again that he's one of those players that can put his entire team on his back and carry them through these early mid stages. That's going to be so crucial. So again, it's going to be such an exciting matchup. I really can't wait for us to jump into the Rift and get started on this. But if I were to have a prediction, I feel like Revenants might actually take this, but it all depends on how they play this early to mid game, Madness.
Exactly, like you're saying, early to mid game depends a lot on what they want to do. And I think Ezian, like you said, after he gets that full clear, will be trying to go for those ganks. He likes to get snowballs. Traditionally, in the history, have you seen in his matches when he gets the vehicle, he tries to get gold funneled a lot into it. But without any further ado, guys, we're going to be heading straight into the Rift. This is a BO3 between SUVO haters and Revenant. SUVO haters on the blue side, Revenants on the red side, and we do have a bit of off-roads coming in. We do have a bit of changes coming out over here. If we can just switch the Tristana and Kai'Sa logo, I know it's a bit confusing to the observer, not League of Legends, but I would have maybe liked to see a nice invade coming in over here with maybe, the Braum passive coming, like, you can do a lot with it, but I don't think we're going to get anything. Everyone's just playing on the defensive, just protecting every single avenue that people can walk into their own jungles. And we're just going to be walking across the lift. Let's take a look at summoners and runes. Nothing else special. You can see 3 members with lethal demo on that side who should be having it. But we do Shoxicon. He does also prefer the Dark Harvest over the Fleet Footwork. He does like to get that late game advantage a bit as well. Doesn't have a problem laning with just the Dark Harvest, so that always works out for him. We might even see a bit of cheese coming in from Lean and one above all in the bot side. They have taken that bush control. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and you can see some pings going down. They suspect that something's up. That's a very good ward there by Ari, actually, at the Raptor camp. The Faker ward, in case people don't know. At 115, you ward this is just to get some early intelligence to try to spot out the pathing of that. Q going wide there. a little bit by the Ari. But that's okay. He's probably going to have the advantage. But I am going to be keeping my eyes mainly on this bot lane because this Dark Harvest plus, Janna is going to be so annoying to play against. And you can see 2 wards actually being invested in that bush there. Oh, but Potato Monster needs to be a little bit careful. You can see a sweeper now being used. They're going to try to pick up a little bit of extra XP and some gold as well, clearing out both those wards. And this means that they are not going to have a ward to scout out any potential early ganks that's coming through. And I don't know if I actually like that.
Yeah, I don't understand that 2 wards being used over the script. Like you said, they're not people who traditionally played with each other bot side because they're both technically ADC main, so that might be a bit of a problem for them moving that way. But you can see Tristan has already used the help on mid side, so he's coming over of those trades. Nice taunt coming in from Bob against Avoid, trying to get some damage numbers for him. Lean's going to be walking a Potato, gets the slow onto one above all. One above all doesn't get stunned up. Lean does block that away. Joxicon has to be a bit careful here. Does have the 4th shot, looking to trade it back, but it's pretty much just trades everywhere. Both junglers have started on the top side of the map, now have made the way to the bottom. Volibear with that a bit more slight early tempo for himself coming in to this bot side. He will be reaching the Krugs before the Viego can reach his Grom, but lane of his is pushed in bot side. Kaiser's trying to get maybe an early back, maybe get some items because they cost less, maybe a bit at this early stage for him compared to what Sakshikun's going. He's probably going for the collector route, so let's see what that comes into. One of them all has to be careful, doesn't have that mana, but Lean's walked very forward over here with the shield. One more auto would have secured Potato Monster in place with the stun, but one of all was keeping his distance, wasn't on the same page as his support, who was just trying to maybe get the wave pushed in. Bob, you have to be a bit careful. Uses the taunt to try and get away, but these are a lot of heavy exchanges coming out. ASCENSION's come into the mid side. This is the early ganks. We're talking about the charm. Does land so the stun by Viego, but the flash used by Itachi to get out of it. So that's the flashless Tristana for the next 5 minutes that ASCENSION can try to abuse later on.
Yeah, and this just puts this puts Itachi even further behind. The flash forward charm lands, but the Q does go wide. Spirit Orb not really connecting there. I'm not sure. Maybe his mouse pointer he got a little too excited and his mouse pointer just kind of maybe he could have saved his flash. I'm not sure. I don't think he had enough damage to actually secure that kill.
Exactly.
So now it's a trade of Summers, but now Lee needs to be a little bit careful, or actually it's okay. It just seems to walk away, and in the top lane you can see that despite Avoid having a bit more of a favorable matchup, the Shen is actually ahead in CS here, which is a little unusual to see, I would say, because he's going to have to maybe be a little bit more careful now, as Bob just takes free damage, doesn't look to trade back, but his minion wave is slowly stacking, which means Avoid is going to have to be a little bit careful with how he approaches these trades here.
He does, definitely, and he was a bit of a level behind, so that means Bob has the XP advantage as well. Itachi gets the explosive charge onto the Ari, but no, the proc's not coming in afterwards. A nice dodge coming in. Potato Monster has made himself away to the mid side over here. Bob, you have to be a bit careful. You can pull back in. That's an avoid with the slam dunk with the first blood coming in for SUVO. It does not honestly know what Bob was thinking in that scenario. He even had flash to get out of it. You can see the instant replay over here. Bob walks a bit too forward over here, not respecting, doesn't even have the taunt to get away, gets pulled back. I would have flashed out of this. Gets knocked out of his taunt, was actually essentially over there. So maybe thought the taunt was enough to save his life. But no, nice Q3 coming in from Avoid prevents the Shen from going out, and that's Avoid with that early advantage for himself.
Yeah, and that just means that he's going to have a much easier laning phase. He's going to have more pressure on the top side of the map, which will eventually allow more control over the grubs that will be spawning soon. But now you can see Wally's kind of hovering around mid lane. They know Ari doesn't have flash. He's actually coming in. Observers can be looking to the mid lane.
Oh, but
but in the meantime, in the bot lane also, yeah.
Yeah.
And
he gets
actually
caught out. He's dead. Nice trap setup coming in from ASCENSION over there. In the meantime, in the mid lane, AK-45 barely getting out with his life. Didn't even have the flash from early on. Had to use his ultimate to get away. And now Itachi gets a bit of a wave push coming in. You don't even have the TP for AK-45 to come back into lane. But with that bot gang, they are trying to maybe get some here. RD, you might be getting caught alone in the wrong side over here, buddy. It might be a bit of a problem. Itachi's coming in to help. Potato Monster coming with the slow. The tornado does not connect. But now this is prior for the side of Revenants towards this Drake pit over here. It is.
Yeah, and RD, I think you'd probably want to give this one up. You're already chunked down to half HP. Don't want to, risk giving them even more kills. And Lean probably just going to clear this ward and back away. Maybe they should look to try to aggressively try to push and look to get a reset on the bot side of the map as well. But you can see that they didn't really opt to go for that dragon. They had the waves kind of pushing in their favor, so they could have maybe gone for that. But I guess Viego is not comfortable enough to start that yet. He does want to stay ahead in terms of farm, which he now has done. He's already, picked up the component. Is he going Triforce here, or is that a Kraken Slayer that he's building?
We'll have to see. We'll honestly have to see. The Voli's also gone for an interesting build path to long swords as well as a dagger right now. I have to see what it goes. Traditionally nowadays we're going Cosmic Drive or the Rod of Ages, but let's see what RD is cooking up for himself over here. They do like a bit of AP if this is the kind of build he is going for. RD will be picking up the blue buff for himself. Was in a bit of a tricky situation early on, but did get himself out of it. Mid side you can see CS equal numbers. Top side of Bob with a bit of that CS disadvantage after giving that first blood over to Void. Has to even keep his distance. Void can actually signal him away. The charm connects from Ari, plus the Q comes in, but Itachi is going to jump forward. One more shot would have got the entire explosive charge, but it's AK-45 still going to be coming out on the trades. The W is down for quite some time from Itachi. Has to be a bit careful, but Lean is close by for anything. Drake is now being started up by the side of Revenants, but looks to be traded with the Grubs instead. And AK-45 has to be careful. I'm not sure why we are buster shotting the Ari away over here. Itachi maybe was not sure about what's happening. It looked very iffy over there.
Yeah, maybe he just thought that Ari was going to just suddenly use our ultimate to engage or something. I didn't know. But yeah, I guess Buster Shot being used means there's a little less kill threat on AK-45, who still has his Spirit Rush, but he needs to be very careful here. Has to actually use his Spirit Rush to escape. A very good Tornado is going to knock one above all up, and now people have left the bot side of the map. Bot lane does not exist, but that's a huge minion wave actually pushing into the turret of Revenants. I think it should be okay to be picked up. Lean just walking forward to the bush there to pick up that ward for himself. But Navoid, you can see now, is very comfortable with the lead that he has established for himself. Seems to be going towards the Eclipse route with his build here, which would give him a little bit of more trading potential and trading power against the Shen, who now is behind in 20 CS. And one above all, and Lean, let's see what they use with this kind of lead that they have built for themselves. They are going to just clear more vision by the looks of it. They just walked over a ward in their bush and didn't break it. I'm not sure what that was about.
We'll forgive it. Just nerves maybe about this matchup, because like you said, Schuberters do have their backs against the wall. Given their states in the leaderboard, Revenants comfortably have secured that top 4 position, so they won't have a problem with that whatsoever. But we do have a pause coming in. Maybe someone has DC'd what happens. But Bob with that Ignite's not doing much in the top side. He is a bit far behind, 20 CS behind Navoid right now. And it's looking not that good for the Shen, who did have like the early CS lead. We were a bit astonished that Aatrox was giving that over, but Bob gets caught out early on. He ends up giving that first blood over. Jin, on the other hand, has picked up a kill from himself in the bot side. He is maybe getting those Dark Harvest stacks in as well. So let's see what he can do with that. But for now, time being, we are on the slower paces. Technically, by this time in most matches in Legends Set, we see at least 5 kills coming up, but this is more on the slower tendency of the games that we at least see in the South Asian region. So maybe they are taking the pace probably, but time is not on the side of Revenants. SUVO haters will be scaling up, so that's not something that they should be looking. They should be looking to be making much more plays over here, but unfortunately, maybe not something that can actually materialize right now. The jungle objectives were traded, right? The Grubs all went to SUVO haters. The Drake went over the side of Revenants. So let's see what else these two teams have in store for us as this matchup continues.
Yeah, and I'm also just thinking, I'm trying to understand the thought process behind taking Ignite on Shen. This is a champion that needs teleport. Maybe he was just looking to try to bully the Aatrox in the early game and just try to secure a lead that way, because they know that their comp is more tempo and early to mid game focused. But it still doesn't change the fact that he's conceding so much map pressure by having this summoner. And I don't know if it was a mistake, honestly, or if it was intentional, but it's definitely going to be a question mark for me in Madden. Oh my
Oh,
God,
this might
Bob!
be another question mark. Bob just cuts the taunt back in time to get out of that. Now Viego has to actually cover that lane for him because Bob has to recall doesn't have the TP to come back to lane. So that's a problem. And like you said, even if he uses his ultimate to get to someone with the stand unite with his teammates, he'll have to give up his lane pressure. But Itachi's going to jump in onto AK-40. That's the charm that lands as well. But the one more shot would have connected. We would have got the reset on the W. We could have actually gone for maybe kill potential.
Ooh.
But Sana maybe not recognizing that. Sana eats a Q to the face from the RE bot side. Still trading going on. The guys have that slight lead over here. The charm connects from AK-45, but so does the butter shot from Itachi. The flash from Itachi just to get away.
No.
But here comes the Spirit Rush in AK-45. You don't have
Why?
the damage. I don't understand. You had the advantage. You got the flash away from him. But no, it's AK-45 giving a solo bolo over to the side of Itachi over there. And Tisana, what looked like a dire situation, makes the best of it, picks up the kill, leaves with his life, and even gets this wave pushed in over here. Bot side, Bob trading heavily with Navoid, but here's RD to provide Navoid some reprise. Bob, you don't have anything to get out. You had used the taunt early on to get into this fight. Here comes the ultimate from Volibear, jumps onto the Shen, claims the feats of warfare for the side of SUVO haters.
Yeah, and I think that was just so greedy by Ari. Like, you know, you got the flash, take the win. You got the flash, a 5-minute cooldown on the summoner spell, whereas your ultimate is only like 2 minutes at level 1. So I would have taken that, but instead he got greedy and just goes under the turret. He had the explosive shot also proccing on top of him when he chose to go under that turret, and just ends up inting basically AK-45. And this is not what you want to do. You don't want to give SUVO haters the agency to have such a big lead, and we're 12 minutes into the game and they already oh,
this could be a bit of a problem over here. One of them all's left on the wrong side of the map. That's not where your Kaiser wants to be. Pops the barrier to try and live a bit longer, but I think that's just a wasted summer at the point because you were going to end up going down. Nice flank comes in for ASEAN, and that is where the side of Revenants want to come back. The charm does land from AK-45, not respecting it. Itachi actually jumps in instead, gets the reset, tries to get back in onto AK-45 instead of leaving. Didn't recognize ASEAN is close by. That should be a dead to Sana, but AK-45 might be going out, but no, he does survive. The tornado comes in for Pretty Monster, but Lean does flash forward. The tornado saves him, but Jin, there's not many places you can go. You do have the flash to try and run away. Does burn the barrier, does burn everything but the flash. He keeps the flash actually available to himself. Artie ends up picking up that kill. So early shit is coming up, but SUVO haters with that firm goal lead as well as the kill lead right now, and are looking to be in a very good spot against Revenants. I think Itachi did int a bit though in the mid side. He did get the reset from the W. Maybe should have just W'd backwards because I don't think there was that much of a kill potential on the RE. She's just going to get out of the exchange. So it looked like Itachi maybe just not recognizing that he was in a bit of a troubled situation. Drake gets picked up. Second Drake of the game. First Drake for SUVO haters over here. And one kill away from one epic monster away from securing the feats of warfare themselves. Trisana's going to jump in onto Ezreal over here, gets the reset from the explosive trap. Ezreal having to flash away. Bob's here to prevent any actual further aggression onto his jungler. I think that's the end of that exchange over there. But it's actually now looking like a Trisana who's trying to get into everyone's faces and trying to get some kill potentials for himself. It looks like it's a Volibear building a Triforce over here, Hades.
Yeah, and also the Viego. Just looking at the gold state now, it seems to be a little bit of a lead for the blue team for the side of SUVO haters. But now you can see the pressure is starting to mount in the other lanes, and the lane swap essentially is going to mean that Navoid is going to struggle a little bit here. Instead has chosen to go for the what's this item called? The one that gives you the bonus AD for every kill that you get.
Hubris.
Hubris, yes, that's the name of the item. You can see like some very weird lane assignments. Kaisa has been left with the Jin in the bot lane, whereas this Shen has moved actually into the mid lane. I guess he's just not enjoying this matchup against this Aatrox, who has a massive lead in terms of CS, and also is a kill ahead, plus sitting on a 150 bounty as well, and it now looks like he's going to be like this full leader in the Aatrox. It's not a build that we've really seen in a long time, but it still can cause a lot of problems because a lot of people don't estimate the burst damage that comes out from the full combo that the Aatrox does possess.
Shoxigon battling against one above all over here. He's going to take the entire stack. He does get W back, gets one more shots in, but here comes the Q from one above all. I don't understand. But wait, curtain's called on the bot side. One above all has to be a bit tricky about how he wants to dodge that. I don't think the shots are landing. That's going to be a very safe concept. But Rift Herald has been started up on this side of the map. AK-45 and ASCENSION trying to actually come in for the gauge. ASCENSION walks a bit forward, but no, gets smited away by the volley. Tristana's going to jump in. The kill secured onto the vehicle. No resets for you, dear sir, in this fight at least. It's going to be instead your death. You're going to receive the alt forward by RD catches onto Potato Monster. The E comes in as well. Here comes the tornado from Itachi's from the Potato is not enough. Bob is trying to get away. He does taunt to get out. The entire explosive charge does not connect onto Bob. He does end up surviving. The flash being burned by AK-45 to get out of that. The turret's going down as well. So everything getting secured by the side of SUVO hitters. They have the feats of strength as well. And Hades, what do you have your ideas about this? Nice W coming in from Shoxikun. Picks up the kill onto onto one above all. The Kai'Sa not respecting. Honestly, I don't understand why Kai'Sa has gone Static Shiv over Kraken Slayer given the recent buffs, right, Hades?
Yeah, I guess it's because their team lacks wave clear. They don't have any champions that can like clear waves. I understand why they would go for the Static Shiv. But now you're looking at essentially an almost 4,000 gold lead at just 16 minutes into the game, and with also kill lead of 2, and they have picked up 3 targets for themselves to Revenant 0, and this early to mid game that we wanted to, that Revenants needed to have in order to try to take this first game, seems to have flown right out the window.
It has full out one of the winner. Instead, it's the team that with the late game skilling is ahead. Like you said, the Serpent's Fang also created from the Aatrox right now has that in his inventory. AK-45 is in the top side, is opting for the Rod of Ages build instead of the Malignance one right now. Maybe let's see how it goes. Especially he had Summoner's Area and not the Electrocute. Might have actually had more kill potential in lane with that, but let's see how it works out for him later on. But for the Jhin, it's the Collector completed plus another BF Sword comes in. He has also the Boots of Swiftness to get that added movement as well to get away from sight. Itachi's going to be walking up, takes this ward. Bob is not going to let him take it free. Hits him once into the face. Lean has to be careful. Bob also has to be a bit careful. But here comes the W. Here comes the taunt. Bob, you've been left alone. The flash is something that Bob does not want to look at again. Potato Monster also ends up going down. The resets coming in from Itachi. But here's AK-45 to prevent his ADC from going down. That was a very ill-timed flash from the Shen over there, Hades.
Yeah, and I'm not sure like why this Shen has chosen. I understand, yes, this Aatrox is severely fed and you're not going to enjoy this matchup, but hold the thought because Navoid might be in a little bit of trouble. He doesn't have his world ender. The curtain call does come through. Second shot is able to secure the kill. Jhin picks up that kill. Is now 3-1 on this champion. Has the Collector to give him that little bit of extra bonus goal, and this is definitely going to help the Jhin a lot in this. But on the other side of the map, they had to concede the second dragon, which is going to be a mountain dragon. And now the dragons are starting to stack for this team that has this scaling advantage. And AK-45, buddy,
he does use Spin Rush to get away. Here comes...
Yeah.
The Shen is going to come in with the ultimate. The Standing Knight does prevent it. Makes RD actually ult to get away. The Charm does connect from AK-45. Now they might even look to be turning it with Lean coming back into this fight. And that's exactly what RD is trying to go for. The stun lands onto the Shen as well with the Q procs. I think they have to leave Bob to die over here. There's not much that can actually happen, but no, Bob actually gets out. A nice tornado comes in from Potato Monster to prevent more members. The Void and every gang is coming here with the TPs. The Void TP used, Itachi's TP used just to get to this bot set. They want to pick up this tier 1, maybe even go for a dive potential. Bob's recalling the bush. That gets cancelled. He has to back away from that. They have to leave this turret to end up dying to the hands of this Tristana. Then looking to pick up the blue buff instead. RD gets a good chunk damage onto it. Mind you, this is a Volibear with the wing plate with the Trinity Force. The Ezreal's trying to look up. Lean's coming into this fight as well. Lean does have the ultimate. This is a good time to use it. He uses it on to Shoxikun. Shoxikun has to actually end up not being much of a factor. Bob, at the end of the day, actually ends up going down for the 4th time by the 20th minute mark. Out of the 9 kills from the side of Shuvaders, 4 are onto Bob. One above all is dodging these charms pretty nicely, dodges the W as well. It was looking like it would be a problem. But Atakan, on the other hand, is getting picked up because there are 4 members from the side of Revenants in the middle lane, and one above all doesn't even mind defending against them.
Yeah, there's just their consolation prize is going to be this mid turret. That's about it. But yeah, things are not looking good for the side for Revenants right now. They are down essentially 5,000 gold at this point. And yeah, the numbers are stacked against them. We're 20 minutes into the game. We have reached that mid-game point. And this is the point in the game where they need to try to make some kind of miracle happen, because the way things are going for them, it is not looking good at all. Madness.
Oh, absolutely. It is not looking good whatsoever. That goal lead has ballooned to that 5k goal lead. Marek Ardi has not died once in this entire matchup. It's 3-0-2 right now. Tristana is looking to build an Navori second instead of the IE. Essentially, over here, the Kinsu's Rage play completed by the Kaiser, so on equal levels of items compared to the Jin. Both have 2 items each. But it's going to be the Ari slightly falling behind Tristana as well. Ezreal has completed his Trinity Forces, looking to be making his Lord Dom second. Like you said, I think the Kraken still will be better here because, of the buff it did receive in this patch, but nobody seems to be making this item, so I think it's all in their heads at this point about what is going on over there. But Navoid will be a big factor in these team fights. They have a good meat shield line for their, 2 carries, being that Tristana and that Kaiser in the fights. And it might be a bit hard for Revenants to actually go for 5v5 exchanges, given that we haven't seen much coming from only the Jin and Viego with the substantial okayness right now in the game, with 3-1-1 for the Jin, the 2-1-2 for the Viego, looking pretty well. The Shen has fallen far behind as well, but that's not a problem for Shen. He can just actually use a good stand unite with his teammates and might be a big factor that way. On the bot side, you can see Tristana was getting chased by Ezreal as well as Bob gets out of that side and looks like a bit of a jungle camp setup. No, gets spotted by the blue sides of Alteration. As this matchup continues, it might be a bit hard for anything that happens for the side of Revenants to actually try and make a way back in. They have to be very careful about the next team fight that breaks out, because if they end up losing that pretty much gives the game over to the side of SUVO haters.
Yeah, and again, this is just, I guess, maybe they haven't read the patch notes. They don't know that Blade of the Ring King and also Kraken Slayer has been buffed this patch. But essentially, those are 2 core items on Viego, and would have definitely put Eason in a way more favorable position to, impact the early to mid game that he definitely does want to do on a reset champion like Viego. And you're essentially just giving up. And this is a bit of a strange build from this Woolly Bear, but it does seem to be working.
Yeah.
He even has a Dead Man's Blade to just be even more of a threat when he comes running at you. Like, good luck trying to run away from that. And now I'm just looking at the comp, and I don't see any engage from this draft that Revenants have. They have like a taunt, they have an Ari taunt, they have a Shen taunt, they have a Viego like single man stun, and like the Jin Root with the Deadly Flourish and the Tornado, but these are not hard engage options.
Exactly.
Whereas on the side of SUVO haters, they do have the Woolly Bear, to jump in and slow people. They do have Navoid with his knockups if he's able to get close. They have Lean with the Glacial Fissure to also slow and knock people up. So both teams kind of playing with this kind of scuffed engage. So you hold it tight, because right now Shoxikun is having to flash away, but I don't think it's going to help him. But hold on, because RD needs to be the one to get out now. The curtains have been called. Glacial Fissure does come down, and Asian is having to flash away, but keep your eyes on the Void here, who is going to get a kill on this, but it's instead going to go to the Kaiser. Flashes forward on Potato Monster, dunks him into the dirt, and here's one above all. He's playing against this Ari. He doesn't have an ultimate, but flashes forward instead, uses his barrier to stay alive, and this is almost a clean ace at just 25, not even 25 minutes into the game. They're losing an inhibitor. Madness.
This might be game at this point, right? They're just walking into the base right here. You can see that Shocksikun is trying to defend, but what can this lone Jin do against so many people in his face? Not much can actually come out. Every explosive charge comes in, and it could be a bit of a problem over here. The Nexus turret ends up going down, and this is looking like game. This is looking like the underdogs, the dark horses of the competition, regaining their composure, taking game one against Revenants.
Yeah, and that was just such a decisive way to end the game. They knew that they had the advantage in gold. They knew that they had the advantage in terms of items. They knew they had the advantage in terms of tempo. And who says we need to go to late game to take this first game? SUVO haters taking down Revenants in this first game in decisive fashion, actually.
Yeah, they are definitely going to be taking it in decisive faction over there. RD, Itachi, and one above all doing very well in this fight. And Void comes in clutching the fact that Lean was doing his thing. I think this was a bit of a lackluster performance from the side of Revenants, essentially, over here. A lot of early mistakes being committed by them. Bob not looking that comfortable with the Shen on the top side against the Aatrox. The kill pressure wasn't coming in from AK-45 in the early stages against this Tristana. RD just being a huge factor with, like you said, a bit of an unusual bid. You have the Deadmans, but you have the Trinity Force. But hey, if it works, it ain't broken, So he did his job. The Mosquito Will coming in with the Kaiser, with the Static Shiv, still doing quite a bit of damage. One above going for those aggressive ins as well with the ultimates is something that you have to be looking forward to. But that's going to be Schubert just taking away game one over here. And they are looking like a very strong contender to maybe even try 2-0 this series. Because I was talking to Lean before the game. He said, if we take the series 2-0, we might still have a very slight chance of still claiming that fourth spot for ourselves, and that's exactly what they look to be doing. This is a very renewed SUVO haters. This is looking like the SUVO haters we start at the beginning of Legends Ascend.
Yeah, and props to SUVO haters. They understood what their win condition was, and they weren't afraid to actually, to make some more riskier moves in this early to mid game. They were kind of trading back, going blow for blow against against Revenants. And you can see here in the stats, it is reflected in all, like it's a goal lead of like 12,000, essentially, almost 13,000. 9 turrets to 1. The Dragons, it doesn't really matter because we didn't, go beyond 25 minutes. Then just with the 3 Void Grubs, they were able, and 1 Rift Herald, they were able to make so much happen in the early to mid stages of the game. I really have to say, SUVO haters, that was a brilliantly played game. And despite some of their main key champions being banned, they were still able to I think this was a domination from them in this first game madness.
It was definitely a lot. And this is a guy, perfect game coming in for RD, especially with that build. He got 3-0-4 coming in with this big bad bear over here. The damage per minute, the CS per minute, not that much of a factor, but 7.4 CS per minute is pretty good numbers for a jungler. Just jumping into these team fights, being a huge early on, also the only jungle objective he ending up was that first Drake, which he exchanged with the 3 grams for himself. So domination in the jungle for himself. SGN couldn't get resets in the team fights, and he got a bit different by this man. Red Devil definitely will be for game one, and expect great things for him. They ban out his Yorick, but he brings out the Volibear instead. And there were a lot of good comfort picks coming in for SUVO haters with Aatrox inside, with one of Skysa. So these are the factors that you neutralize going forward. Thankfully, it is fearless draft, so these picks won't be allowed at least further on going in, so you can adjust your draft according to that. But well played by RD in game one for his side. Huge contributing factor to this victory for SUVO haters in this game, and SUVO haters played phenomenally over here against Revenants and showing that they can go to toe with best teams in Legends Ascend.
Yeah, and this also goes to show you that I was honestly expecting Revenants to actually play a bit more decisive early game madness, but instead they were making some very questionable plays, questionable summoner spells, and even the draft was a little bit scummy. I did like that they had this kind of aggressive bot lane setup with the Janna and the Jhin, but they weren't really able to, make much use of it. And SUVO, like you said, have a chance to make this a 2-0 now because it's Revenants with their backs up against the wall, and they need to rethink of how they're going to approach this draft. And if I were them, I would maybe, instead of looking to pick comfort, I would actually try to choose to play a more traditional team composition that composes of maybe a mage in the mid lane with good scaling, an ADC, because there's still so many options open for them. And right now, I think this series is basically SUVO Haters' series to lose at this point. Let's see what is going to be happening in game number 2, Madness, because I was not expecting this big to be very honest.
Yeah, it was kind of an upset. But guys, before we jump into the game, we'll be taking a short break, so don't go anywhere if you don't want to see how this is happening.
Alright, yeah. 1, 2, 3, mic check, what's up? 2, 3 on my back, it's tug. Light years ahead, just call me Buzz. Hitting a shot in sync with the buzz. I feel like Joel Embiid, the process, yeah, I trust. Accolades got them swallowing the words, cause I know that they doubted us. Touch, can't touch this. I know they throwing that dirt on my name. When I check on my tag, it be spotless. Look in the mirror and snap my fingers and point like you know you got this. Winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man. Who gon' stop this? No one. Give it all I got. I'm going to the top. I'm going in. Right on the way to the top. 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 I'm going in. Flip the letter I stick it. I came from the bottom to the top, but I'm not finished. I just needed me a minute. Standing attention, lieutenant. I gotta get up and get it. All I'm focused on is winning. You not gonna cheat code. We win until the clock gon' hit zero. I'm finding my way back like I was Nemo. Do it, I am a dynamic duo. Win and win. That's right, my nickname is winning. Gotta walk in the building, gotta inspire the children. When they see my ambition, I'm not a regular civilian. Give me all I got. I'm going to the top. Right on the way 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 to the top. I did it. I'm going in, got me like on grind. Woo! Gotta go up to the top, won't stop. I'm gonna be the man, yeah, I gotta cut the knot. Haters really on me, tryna take my spot. But we go up, yeah, we never gon' drop. Alright, yeah. 1, 2, 3, mic check, what's up? 2, 3 on my back, it's tug. Light years ahead, just call me Buzz. Hitting a shot in sync with the boys. I feel like Joel Embiid, the process, yeah, I trust. Accolades got them swallowing the words, cause I know that they doubted us. Touch, can't touch this. I know they throwing that dirt on my name. When I check on my tag, it be spotless. Look in the mirror and snap my fingers and point like you know you got this. Winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man. Who gon' stop this? No one. Give it all I got. I'm going to the top. I'm going in. Right on the way to the top. 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 I'm going in. Flip these. The letter I stick it. I came from the bottom to the top, but I'm not finished. I just needed me a minute. Stand at attention, lieutenant. I gotta get up and get it. All I'm focused on is winning. And I got a cheat code. We win until the clock gon' hit zero. I'm finding my way back like I was Nemo. Do it, I am a dynamic duo. Win, and win. That's right, my nickname is winning. Gotta walk in the building, gotta inspire the children. When they see my ambition, I'm not a regular civilian. Give it all I got. I'm going to the top. Right on the way 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 to the top. I did it. Gotta go up to the top, won't stop. I'm gonna be the man, yeah, I gotta cut the knot. Haters really on me, tryna take my spot. But we go up, yeah, we never gon' drop. Alright, yeah. 1, 2, 3, mic check, what's up? 2, 3 on my back, it's tug. Light years ahead, just call me Buzz. Hitting a shot in sync with the boys. I feel like Joel Embiid, the process, yeah, I trust. Accolades got them swallowing the words, cause I know that they doubted us. Touch, can't touch this. I know they throwing that dirt on my name. When I check on my tag, it be spotless. Look in the mirror and snap my fingers and point like you know you got this. Winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man. Who gon' stop this? No one. Give it all I got. I'm going to the top. Flip these. The landing, I stick it. I came from the bottom to the top, but I'm not finished. I just needed me a minute. Standing attention, lieutenant. I gotta get up and get it. All I'm focused on is winning. He not gonna cheat code. We win until the clock gon' hit zero. I'm finding my way back like I was Nemo. Do it, I am a dynamic duo. Win, 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 and win. That's right, my nickname is winning. Gotta walk in the building, gotta inspire the children. Wanna see my ambition, I'm not a regular civilian. Give me all I got. I'm going to the top. Gotta go up to the top, won't stop. I'm gonna be the man, yeah, I gotta cut the knot. Really haters really on me, tryna take my spot. But we go up, yeah, we never gon' drop. Alright, yeah. 1, 2, 3, mic check, what's up? 2, 3 on my back, it's tug. Light years ahead, just call me Buzz. Hitting a shot in sync with the buzz. I feel like Joel Embiid, the process, yeah, I trust. Accolades got them swallowing the words, cause I know that they doubted us. Touch, 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 can't touch this. I know they throwing that dirt on my name. When I check on my tag, it be spotless. Look in the mirror and snap my fingers and point like you know you got this. Winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man. Who gon' stop this? No one. Give me all I got. I'm going to the top. I'm going in. Right on the way to the top. 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 I'm going in. Flip the landing, I stick it. I came from the bottom to the top, but I'm not finished. I just needed me a minute. Standing attention, lieutenant. I gotta get up and get it. All I'm focused on is winning. He not gonna cheat code. We win until the clock gon' hit zero. I'm finding my way back like I was Nemo. Do it, I am a dynamic duo. Win, 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 and win. That's right, my nickname is winning. Gotta walk in the building, gotta inspire the children. Wanna see my ambition, I'm not a regular civilian. Give me all I got. I'm going to the top. I'm going in. Right on the way to the top. 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 Did it, I did it, I did it. I'm going in. Got me like, Gotta go up to the top, won't stop. I'm gonna be the man, yeah, I gotta cut the knot. Haters really on me, tryna take my spot. But we go up, yeah, we never gon' drop. Alright, yeah. 1, 2, 3, mic check, what's up? 2, 3 on my back, it's tough. Light years ahead, just call me Buzz. Hitting a shot in sync with the buzz. I feel like Joel Embiid, the process, yeah, I trust. Accolades got them swallowing the words, cause I know that they doubted us. Touch her, touch, can't touch this. I know they throwing that dirt on my name. When I check on my tag, it be spotless. Look in the mirror and snap my fingers and point like you know you got this. Winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man. Who gon' stop this? No one. Give it all I got. I'm going to the top. Stick it. I came from the bottom to the top, but I'm not finished. I just needed me a minute. Standing attention, lieutenant. I gotta get up and get it. All I'm focused on is winning. You're not gonna cheat code. We win until the clock gon' hit zero. I'm finding my way back like I was Nemo. Do it, I am a dynamic duo. Win, 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 and win. That's right, my nickname is winning. Gotta walk in the building, gotta inspire the children. Wanna see my ambition, I'm not a regular civilian. Go up to the top, won't stop. I'm gonna be the man, yeah, I gotta cut the knot. Haters really on me, tryna take my spot. But we go up, yeah, we never gon' drop. Alright, yeah. 1, 2, 3, mic check, what's up? 2, 3 on my back, it's tug. Light years ahead, just call me Buzz. Hitting a shot in sync with the buzz. I feel like Joel Embiid, the process, yeah, I trust. Accolades got them swallowing the words, cause I know that they doubted us. Touch her, touch, can't touch this. I know they throwing that dirt on my name. When I check on my tag, it be spotless. Look in the mirror and snap my fingers and point like you know you got this. Winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man. Who gon' stop this? No one. Give it all I got. I'm going to the top. On grind. I'm going in. On grind. Right on the way to the top. 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 On grind. I'm going in. I'm like on grind. I'm going away. Flip these. The letter I stick it. I came from the bottom to the top, but I'm not finished. I just needed me a minute. Standing attention, lieutenant. I gotta get up and get it. All I'm focused on is winning. He not gonna cheat code. We win until the clock gon' hit zero. I'm fighting my way back like I was Nemo. Do it, I am a dynamic duo. Win, 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 and win. That's right, my nickname is winning. Gotta walk in the building, gotta inspire the children. Wanna see my ambition. I'm not a regular civilian. Give me all I got. I'm going to the top. On grind. I'm going in. Right on the way to the top. 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 Did it, I did it, I did it. On grind. I'm going in. Got me like on grind. Woo! Gotta go up to the top, won't stop. I'm gonna be the man, yeah, I gotta cut the knot. Haters really on me, tryna take my spot. But we go up, yeah, we never gon' drop. Alright, yeah. 1, 2, 3, mic check, what's up? 2, 3 on my back, it's tug. Light years ahead, just call me Buzz. Hitting a shot in sync with the buzz. I feel like Joel Embiid, the process, yeah, I trust. Accolades got them swallowing the words, cause I know that they doubted us. Touch her, touch, can't touch this. I know they throwing that dirt on my name. When I check on my tag, it be spotless. Look in the mirror and snap my fingers and point like you know you got this. Winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man. Who gon' stop this? No one. Give it all I got. I'm going to the top. On grind. I'm going in. On grind. Right on the way to the top. 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 On grind. I'm going in. I'm like on grind. I'm going away. Flip these. finished. I just needed me a minute. Still an attention, lieutenant. I gotta get up and get it. All I'm focused on is winning. Not gonna cheat code. We win until the clock gon' hit zero. I'm finding my way back like I was Nemo. Do it, I am a dynamic duo. Win, 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 and win. That's right, my nickname is winning. Gotta walk in the building, gotta inspire the children. Wanna see my ambition. I'm not a regular civilian. Gotta go up to the top, won't stop. I'm gonna be the man, yeah, I gotta cut the knot. Haters really on me, tryna take my spot. But we go up, yeah, we never gon' drop. Alright, yeah. 1, 2, 3, mic check, what's up? 2, 3 on my back, it's tug. Light years ahead, just call me Buzz. Hitting a shot in sync with the buzz. I feel like Joel Embiid, the process, yeah, I trust. Accolades got them swallowing the words, cause I know that they doubted us. Touch her, touch, can't touch this. I know they throwing that dirt on my name. When I check on my tag, it be spotless. Look in the mirror and snap my fingers and point like you know you got this. Winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man. Who gon' stop this? No one. Give it all I got. I'm going to the top. Stick it. I came from the bottom to the top, but I'm not finished. I just needed me a minute. Still an attention, lieutenant. I gotta get up and get it. All I'm focused on is winning. Not gonna cheat code. We win until the clock gon' hit zero. I'm finding my way back like I was Nemo. Do it, I am a dynamic duo. Win, 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 and win. That's right, my nickname is winning. Gotta walk in the building, gotta inspire the children. Wanna see my ambition. I'm not a regular civilian.
Oh, my bad, guys. Sorry about that. Welcome back to League of Legends in South Asia. It's me, Bandis, alongside ADD. And for once, it is not the producers nor the players that have delayed it. It is Discord that has been the delaying factor over here. The servers were bugging out a bit. So, unfortunately, sorry for that, guys. Sorry for the delay. But we are back with the action. We have come up with temporary solutions as well. So we will be jumping into game 2. But before that, let's talk a bit more about how game 1 went, because bit of an unexpected given what we thought going into the game. We thought maybe Revenants had the slight edge over here, but SUVO Raiders completely proving us wrong, showing us why we have termed them quote-unquote the dark horses of this competition. And they did pretty much demolish Revenants early on, because they had a late game skilling comp, but they took the early lead. They snowballed that out of proportions, and here we are, game 2, with them 1-0 up into this matchup, and I think they're doing a pretty bang-up job for themselves. And I think we do also have some role swaps coming in. It looks like AK-45 is going to be top, and Unseen Blade, the main mid laner for Revenants, is back in the scene.
Yes, and Unseen Blade, of course, representing Sri Lanka here, has known to be one of those really good mid laners, even in the local scene, the competitive scene here in Sri Lanka, which means that we might see a couple of different bands coming out. The man is known to play a very mean Cassiopeia, and also can play certain burst mages like Syndra as well. But so far we can see that the bands are kind of staying the same, no deviations per se. But let's see if that changes towards the second phase of the ban. And actually there is a change, and Nocturne actually being taken off the board now.
Nocturne taking away from what do you call RD, something that he does like to play, try to get up his Yoriks also. So they're targeting RD quite a bit instead of Navoid. Navoid's Aatrox not going to be allowed because of Fearless Draft as well. Let's see what the last ban will be from the side of SUVO Raiders, hashtag SUVO, hate SUVO. But it's going to be the Hecarim ban coming in out over here. Okay, interesting choice, not something we see quite often in the banning phase, especially in South Asia, that we don't see that much coming out. But yeah, that is going to be the ban. Let's see what they choose for their last ban. Do they want to actually target Navoid at all over here? Yone is left open right now, something that he does love playing in the top side. Now with the advancements or buffs to Bork, it is a huge factor there. But no, it's going to be the Leona ban against Lean, and Smolder left open means Smolder is taken by one above all.
Yep, and the answer is probably going to, let's see, is this going to be an Ashe Braum? Are we going to see kind of like a Ashe Rel? Are we going to see more poke in the bot side? Ashe Karma instead. Ooh, I like this. A lot of mobility, a lot of shielding, a lot of poke as well from the bot side, which means it's going to be kind of difficult for the Smolder to kind of navigate around in the early game. So a very good answer there, actually, from the side of Revenants. And let's see how they want to proceed. Maybe lock in Emilio for themselves. Good Enchanter has been buffed recently, or rather, or is Rakan? What? Huh? Okay. I mean, adding a little bit of engage in Smolder Rakan. That is not something you see every day, but I guess they're comfortable picking that because Rakan is a good champion overall into, they have some good engage here. Also, very mobile champion, can provide some safety and utility to the Smolder as well. And they're going to lock this Amumu in, which does mean that they are looking at this kind of team fight heavy composition that they seem to be drafting. Let's see what the answer is going to be. Maybe it's something like a Jarvan would be okay here. But instead, they're going to lock in the Gwen, which again can be flexed into the top lane, could be played jungle as well. So a good pickup here, but now that means there's a lot of AP champions that have kind of been picked. Karma providing some AP as well, Gwen also being AP. So let's see if they want to ban out some AD mid laners right now. Camille being taken off the board to provide that ultra scaling and just that 1v1 potential, and also just such a menace in the split push. Let's see what the answer is going to be from the side of SUVO haters. Maybe look to take away some AD champions. Maybe
they
80
can be going with that, but think about what AK-45 will bring. They're going to ban Syndra away from Unseen Blade. It's not going to be allowed for him at all. We have seen RD play a couple of Amumu games already in Legend Sense. He's not bad on the champion. I think the Rakan choice is just because Lean is way more comfortable on the champion right now. Like you said, the smaller Rakan, not a combo you usually get to see as on that variety. So is the Ashe Karma on the bot side, and Ashe Braum was not allowed because Braum picked in first game, not
Yeah, it
allowed
was
to
picked up. Yeah,
finish
yeah, yeah.
after anymore. So that's how the choice. But now they are focusing on Void yet again. The Olaf ban against him. So the Void champ pool has been shortened a bit. His Yone is still up for the taking if they want to be picking that up for themselves. But let's see what can go on. Mord hasn't been banned out. Mord is also a good option if you go for an AD mid. But let's see. I don't think Itachi is that much more comfortable AD mid. I think Chisana was his one hit, one wonder in AD mid.
Maybe
Because we
take the
haven't seen him
Pantheon
play.
here, Ben.
Can be. Let's see what they choose. It's going to be the Cassiopeia that you're talking about for unseen play. That gets banned out against him as we move on with the draft phase over here. Let's see what the blind picks are going to be looking for. I don't think it's the Pantheon going to get locked in. I honestly don't. The J4 is open as well. There are a lot that you could actually go for, but Pantheon, not a bad choice, but I don't think it's going to be in Revenants Arsenal. I don't think Ezreal plays Pantheon that much. It's going to be the Galio picked for the mid lane, blind pick coming in, and Itachi looking to answer with the Victor instead over here. They really want to leave that Gwen as, that question mark, if it's going in the top, if it's going in the jungle. I think it's most likely going with Ezreal in the jungle. I don't think AK-45 pilots that top side, but the Orianna has been switched over this side instead of the Victor. Let's see if that gets locked in from Itachi's. The Leo was open, but I don't think without the Pantheon they're wanting to lock in that combo. But Orianna does get picked up. Let's see what Mr. Navoid, one of the star players from the side of SUVO haters, has in store for us in the top side. What are they looking for? Because they need a bit more of that. No, the front line is looking okay as well. The Yone wouldn't even be that bad over here if he wants to actually go for it. You can kite your way in these fights. You can go for the dashes. But the Riven getting hovered by Navoid. No, he's going to switch it over to the Fiora. He's going to be locking that. No, it's the Ambessa at the end of the day that gets locked in for Navoid in the top side.
Yeah, and I like this pick. It's actually, it kind of accelerates their composition. Also, a little known fact is that actually the Ambessa Orianna Shockwave, you immediately just jump onto somebody on the back line, followed by a Shockwave when the ball is on top of Ambessa, can just instantly burst down a target. But you will see Renekton being the answer. I was about to say their draft is very AP heavy. They do need some AD in their team comp, and Renekton's a pretty good answer against Ambessa, a champion that actually does excel well in 1v1 situations, and I do give Renekton kind of the advantage in this matchup because he can break shields with his W, Call the Meek, and I think there's going to be a lot of top side heavy focus. We've seen teams kind of abuse that before, kind of, target Navoid and shut him down because he is one of the key players on this SUVO hater squad. And we do have, a Galio that can impact any lane with that, global ultimate of his. I do, I'm kind of looking at, the scaling on both these team compositions. And obviously the Smolder comp does outscale, but you cannot just sit on this comp that Revenants have kind of drafted themselves, because the Gwen and Ashe along with Karma can be, such a problem in the late game.
It can definitely be a bit of a problem for their sides. And I think it will be better if they, don't let it happen. Last time we said Revenants have to be a bit proactive. They have to go for it. But they tried those plays, didn't work out the way they wanted to. Instead, it was SUVO haters getting that, a certain advantage and edge over their opponents. And now with one above all on this mode, like you said, you can't just go even in that lane bot side. You have to put some more pressure onto him. You can't get the Little Dragon get his stacks for free. You can't let him get kills for free. That's exactly what they're going to be looking to do. We're going to get to see recall Navoid yet again on the Ambessa. We've seen, I think, twice coming out from previously in Legends Ascent, so it's not something that he is not against. And AK-45 on the Renekton, I don't think will slow him down because he has played record quite a few games of Renekton mid, and he will be easily piloting the champion top side. So maybe something more of a comfort. Now they're more balanced out in the ref. Now Potato Monster is on the ADC role as well, and you have Bob in what he likes to play, that support. So maybe you get to see more bot, focus coming in for them, maybe more pushing in coming, because I think Potato Monster wasn't feeling himself that well on the Janna, but now when he's back on roll, definitely going to feel much more comfortable. But Unseen Blaze is also a guy who's come back into the picture in game 2 over here. Let's see how well he's going to be playing the mid side with the Galio, looking for the roams. Galio is a very strong big champion, seen it in terms of times in the MSI. It's going to be coming in EWC as well, but at the end of the day, it's about how these teams play. This is the second game of the best of 3 that we're going to be conducting, and it is SUVO haters. You're not hearing it wrong. 1-0 up in the series. Revenants falling a bit behind, but hopefully now with more people on their main roles, they can maybe mount a comeback, take us all the way to that crucial game 3.
Yeah, and I do feel like even though the outscale option is available for SUVO haters, this comp that Revenants have just looks really scary. Like the champions that they have, a Galio that can just come in and just cause so much disruption and also provide so much feel for the Ashe, the Karma shields and the speed buffs that could also potentially help them engage, disengage, and keep this Ashe alive. And if you give Ashe enough uptime in a team fight, you know just how scary she can be, man. That's just absolutely shred through these tanks. And also Ashe is now one of those champions that can't even go for the damage per second build, like build the Kraken Slayer, the Blade of the Ruin King, and along with the Runance Hurricane. And also Phantom Dancer did get buffed, and Ashe is one of those champions that absolutely loves Bob Walk. So Phantom Dancer wouldn't actually be a bad pickup. So I do actually like Revenant's draft a little bit more than I actually like SUVO Haters' draft, if I'm going to be a little honest, because they have a bit more disengaged madness. Rather, while the other team just has go all in, like, jump on top, the Amumu, the Rakan, like the Ambessa. It's just like, go forward, like straight in. Either you go and you bump into a wall, or you go and you come out winning the team fight and getting that advantage. So I still don't know. This is anyone's game. But Revenants, you guys need to try. You guys are one of the top 4 teams right now established in 3rd place. You need to put your foot down and show why you guys cannot be counted out, even against the Dark Horse in this tournament madness.
Definitely. SUVO haters, on the other hand, have to prove that they need these points, because the only chance they have of making it even into that top 4 is winning this series 2-0. If they lose a game, that pretty much neutralizes all hopes they have of moving forward in the competition, because unfortunately in recent times they haven't been performing as well as they did in the beginning of the competition. But we did get to see a flashback over there, given how game 1 went for them, given how they showed their prowess over there. But Revenants have to step it up, secure, show them why you want to actually end off your series in Legends Ascend on a strong note. You heading into those playoff series. But without any further ado, guys, we're going to be jumping in to game number 2 of this best of 3 series. It's going to be SUVO haters yet again on the blue side. It's going to be Revenants on the red side. SUVO haters leading the series 1-0 right now as we head in to the Rift. You can see all the players are lining up and how they want to walk in. I don't think we're going to see any, invades or of that certain kind, or that they actually go for anything at the end of the day, because even when they had the Braum, they didn't actually try to go for much. But you can see that Potato Monsters come with the cleanse, maybe to prevent the Amumu ults that will be coming on to him as well over here. AK-45 against Navoid in the top side. Let's see if it gets well. Navoid really loves taking this bush control. Time and time again, I have seen him take this bush control for himself, and he's done wonders with it. Sometimes even coming out on top. Sometimes maybe eating slightly a bit. And I think that was against Kakao's top lane in Scopy, where he did a bit of that int. But other than that, doing phenomenally. Navoid against AK-45. AK-45 has now taken that bush control instead. And now they're going to be matching up against each other. Navoid hitting those Qs, going to be dashing away, trying to get out of an exchange. And as you can see, bot side ward has been placed by the Smolder. If we can change, how they're looking in that scoreboard up and down, that would be also fantastic over there. But Potato Monster Bob walk in. Bob has got the sweeper, so they're going to take that ward away. We are going to take a slight pause, it looks like, guys, as we go back to the caster desk. It looks like we have a DC, and that's exactly what we do have. Itachi seems to have been DC the second that we were there, but looks like a pretty standard start to the game going on here. I don't think I'm seeing anything special. Or what do you, Hades?
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the idea of invading with an Amumu composition. Amumu is a champion that wants to get his clears. Essentially does struggle in the early game. You've seen traditionally, even in the past, even in your solo queue games, if you are smart enough and you know the enemy team has like a champion like the Amumu, you definitely want to invade into the Amumu. You don't give him that early start and give him the full clear, because it just becomes such a menace at the later stages of the game. So I'm not surprised that both teams decided not to really go for anything. They kind of want to play it safe, feel out the game. But what happened last time is when Revenants did that, they just ended up conceding so much pressure on the map, conceding so many objectives, and just like the tempo was just completely out of control. So I don't think they want to allow that to happen. So it's good that Unseen Blade has kind of, is back here with the team, because he has been known traditionally, even in the past, in his past teams, to be the shot caller and the one who is, making most of the calls, and the macro decision making also does seem to be something that he's good at. But again, there is a smolder, which means that it is a bit of a ticking time bomb. I wouldn't say really the most, the worst possible outcome, because Ashe is also one of those champions on 6 items that can just completely take over team fights. But yeah, Madness, I'm still trying to figure out if SUVO haters will actually take the second game, or if Revenants are going to, fight back and try to do a reverse Uno card on them and do what they did in the first game.
Yeah, and also the Gwen, you're also going to have some scaling opportunities in that sense as well.
Yeah.
Gwen in the jungle, ASCENSION, if you start snowballing, can be a huge factor in these team fights. But like you said, it's SUVO haters with the back against the wall, because even if they end up winning the series, but if they win it 2-1, unfortunately, they still won't have the points to go for. So they have to try and get this, 3-0 points over here for themselves, because otherwise, Revenants, like you said, have already secured their place. This is pretty much a battle of showing that they are the better team. That's what they're trying to prove over here at this point, and prevent SUVO haters for getting those crucial points for themselves. But yes, these fights are going to matter quite a bit between these two teams. Pause is taking a bit of time, but on the other hand, guys, please make sure to follow all our social media. The links are in the description box below. Join the LOL Discord INSA. We have a lot of fun events coming up. We have an arena event coming up. So that's something you should be looking out for, something you should be looking to join. Fun events over there. Time and time again, we bring you these kind of things. We also do have a lot in terms of people you can meet, things you can learn if you're just getting into the game, free skins to win as well. So and then Rim is always just a good time. But without any further ado, guys, we're going to be heading back into the game bot side over here. You can see both junglers are starting on the top side of the map, will be looking to make their way bot pretty soon. You can see that Ambessa against the Revenant in top is doing fine. One above all will be looking to get some more pressure here against the Ashe and Karma on the bot side, but I don't think it's going to be that easy, because that's a lot of poke coming out from the Karma, plus the Ashe W's coming in. You can already see one above all not looking that healthy anymore.
Yeah, and no, just looking at this early game, and you can see that already Unseen Blade is maybe not in a good position, but he does have the phase rush that will help him kind of escape, kind of run away and not take too much damage from the Soriana's passive. But as you can see, the pressure is mounting. This Karma Ashe lane, proving to be a little bit of a menace. There's not much a Smolder can really do against this comp. So you can see he is definitely struggling, even just to walk up. You can see that the poke is just so toxic. It's so hard to deal with.
It is toxic. It is hard to deal with. It is looking a bit rough for that Smolder. That guy is not having the best of times whatsoever right now. Over there in the bot side, you can see he has been struggling quite a bit. The scoreboard's all over the place on the left side right now. We can fix that. The taunt comes in from the Galleon, simply getting good poke coming with the Q as well. Itachi, you have to be a bit careful. You're going to need that TP reset coming in for yourself pretty soon over here. And if Unseen Blade cancels that out, you might even miss out on waves. But Lean tries to go in and gets the knock up onto Bob, but that's not going to actually do much. The shield was coming in from the Karma. He's going to be protecting himself. Unseen Blade eats a turret shot for some reason over there. Not sure about that. Maybe he's trying to go for a cancel, but it didn't work out for him. Both scuttles actually picked up by ASCENSION over here, so he's going to have that slight edge in terms of camps with the scuttle pickups coming from himself. No, wait, one scuttle is still up. Maybe that was just a ward that was placed, and now the fight's going to be beginning before that. You can see their Momo is going to be running to get on top side. AK-45 against the Void, trading quite a bit. Here you can see Itachi is walking up to fight against Ezien. Ezien just dodges the bandage toss coming in over that side. But bot side is always going to be that, just try and survive the lane, try and get those stacks, and hopefully you can be a factor later on.
Yeah, and also you can see in the top lane, also the matchup seems to be favoring the Renekton, who will definitely be favored in the early stages of this game, right? And you can see now the bandage toss. Observer's top side, it looks like the flash was blown actually. AK-45 playing a little bit too aggressive, not respecting the collapse. He had information that the Amumu was on that scuttle crab, so I'm not sure why he was, looking to play so aggressively. I guess that was just, disrespectful, but now he has proceeded to continue to pressure that lane and forces Ambessa under the turret. And you can even see Potato Monster and Bob just choking out and being such a pain in the butt for the side of SUVO haters. So the lanes are actually going in the favor of Revenants, actually, at just 5 minutes into the game.
It is looking exactly like that. Favors are going in for Revenants, exact opposite of what happened in game one. One above all is not being allowed to even exit his turret at this point. Potato Monster chunking, even when he need a turret shot for his problems. The knocker comes in for lean, some damage coming in, but Unseen Blade is coming into RD over here. RD is being chased out of his own jungle, essentially. Ezien is going to be picking up this chicken instead. RD can just look and watch as that's gone. The Smoldener account trying to make some moves, trying to walk up, but no, unfortunately can't do much. Top side, AK-45 with a very good CS lead, already 20 CS lead himself against that Ambessa. He's looking like he's doing a fine job. Galio's always just getting these waves pushed in, maybe even looking for a roam potential later on if that pace keeps up. Bob is level 5, but one above all is still on that level 4 mark. The Ash also has around 11-12 CS lead on to his counterpart, that's Smolder. Drake now getting started up by the side of Revenants. Drake should be going down without any issue whatsoever. Ezien, after his first back, picked up a Dark Seal and a Blasting one, so he's looking to try and get that snowball. Amum's picked up his Fated Ashes plus an Amplifying Tone, so it's looking good for him, at least AP-wise. Top side, right, and has gone for that Dorn's Blade just to get that add pressure in lane. One above all in lane, have to still continue keeping the distance. RD is going to be walking over ward, so shouldn't be much of a problem. Bob's going to get knocked up, might be a bit in terms of he might get caught out, but no, I think he's just going to easily walk away. RD bandage tosses, but you're onto a minion, you're just going to help clear the wave. Here is Ezien, though he's close by. This might be a bit problematic. The hover was coming in. I don't think Amu wants to stay much longer. He's just going to waste time, essentially. His blue buff is coming up, but still a slower start to the game than we're used to seeing.
Yeah, definitely a slower start, and that's because neither of these lanes really have any kill threat on one another, at least until their ultimates are up. Are looking for the jungle to kind of influence their lanes. And you can see that, Renekton is already on like a 20 CS lead and absolutely, dominating this top side of the map. Whereas even Gwen seems to have, taken a couple of extra camps as well due to the lane pressure that his, teammates have seemed to have built for themselves. So I would say this is a very good start. But hold the thought, because now there's an invade on the blue side of the map. And ultimate is being used, followed by the Galio ult right on top of AK-45. RD's down to a sliver of HP. The third cast of the ultimate is able to secure that kill. So first blood going in favor, but the shockwave to try to dissuade them from taking any further kills has also been invested. But at the end of the day, that is first blood picked up by the side of Revenants, and it's still not over. Navoid is going to go in, try to secure that kill, and he is able to actually take down Ezien. You can see that he's trading against his Renekton, but I'm not sure you win those. You don't have your ultimate, but no one else dies.
At the end of the day, extended 1-for-1 trade goes on. Navoid gets a kill. Ezien picks up a kill, but Ezien ends up dying. AK-45, you have to be a bit careful against Navoid over here. Navoid should be going in. The W comes in, but the stun is enough with Empowered coming in over there. Locks up Ambessa in place. The last auto secures the kill. Navoid just not respecting the right hand enough. Didn't realize the W is still up, I guess. And Renton picks up the kill, has a good CS lead. We'll get this wave pushed in. Navoid doesn't even have TP to come back and pick up some CS. So this is going to be very problematic for Navoid. Navoid over aggressive after he picks up the kill. Maybe try to get an item instead, or just pick up the waves. Bob and Putin wants to keep on this pressure. That Mantra Q hitting straight into lean over there, chunking that call Rakan a lot over that side. But bot laners haven't backed yet in terms of the ADCs. They haven't picked up any items. So let's see if they want to go for that. Lean's walking up. Here comes the Enchanted Arrow, lands straightly into the Rakan, but he's just going to jump out instead. I'm not quite sure you want to use it onto Lean. You don't have the damage to knock him down right now, especially without any items. But Protemonos is kiting onto one above all. Lean channels his ultimate going forward onto this Ashe. Ashe has to use the cleanse to get out. One above all is chunking him down. Flashes forward. One more auto should be enough. But no, the flash forward by Bob with the shield protects his ADC, doing what any good karma should do. A lot of summoners exchange bot side, but both bot laners on both sides living on.
Yep, but this does mean that the lane is going to be in a very awkward state for this Ashe, who's staying back with a sliver of HP, being very sneaky there, actually. They don't have eyes on the Gwen either, which does mean that this is very risky, but she's still choosing to stick around. But here comes the Amumu, and we might just see a dead Potato Monster. A very good dodge there on the first cast of the Bandage Toss. But the ultimate, the Curse of the Sad Mummy, able to pick up that kill. So now, I think he was a little greedy staying back for that wave. I don't think he had any business doing there.
I think Artie's being greedy here.
Yeah, he is being greedy, but he's able to take 2 kills, that's fine. He'll take that. He's able to pick up 2 kills.
Definitely. Definitely will.
But now that means that the score is 3-3. But still a goal is slightly in favor of Revenants at 10 minutes into this game. Let's see if there's going to be any kind of proactivity towards the White Grubs now. I think both teams would ideally be looking to try to pick up that for themselves, as Unseen Blade does go in for an aggressive trade here against Itachi, chunks him down to half HP. And I do favor the Galio definitely going into this matchup. Does have, that extra MR to keep himself alive against this Orianna as well. But I'm surprised that the score is 3-3, Madness, considering, of course, the immense pressure that Revenants seem to be putting on this early game onto the side.
I think it's because Potato Monster stayed back, was a bit greedy with that back just because of the wave state. I think that just caused a lot of problems. RD even managed to pick up the Feats of Warfare on the bot side. Here comes Mother. He's going to go on to Potato Monster, doing a lot of damage onto him, but no, nothing else comes off it. The Enchanted Arrow is up and available for the Ashe if he chooses to use it in the next engage. And one above all won't have his ultimate for quite some time. Top side, A45 already has a 30 CS lead for himself, and the Gwen has 2 stacks into the Dark Seal. Here comes the Void against AK45. They're just trading a bit. One above all has to be a bit careful about where he's going to position. But Monster really wants to pick up. He just took a roundabout route, I think so, where he is just seeing the scenery on the side while ASEAN was picking up the Drake. But on the top side, here comes the Orianna for a gank onto AK45. AK45 does have flash available if he chooses to use it. Here comes the Shockwave. Here comes the ultimate trigger from AK45. He uses the flash to go in instead. Picks up the kill. Itachi as well with the slice and dice plus the W for himself. A great turnaround coming in from the makeshift top laner of Revenants. And this might even be a dead RD. RD has to be careful, has to respect. Unseen Blade does damage even though he's gone for the protection route. AK45 fighting against the Void underneath his turret, took too many turret shots, and the Void is trying to chase him with his dashes as well from the passive procs, but unfortunately can't catch up to the Crocodile.
Yeah, and AK-45 needs to, kind of be a bit careful because he's not yet evolved into AK-47. But now this means Lean is kind of left on the bot side alone, and more place going to Potato Monster and Bob. This early game, they've already picked up 2 dragons as well, Madness. This is not looking good for the side of SUVO haters who, with their backs against the wall, need to kind of withhold the storm that Revenants seem to be bringing, which I did expect them to actually bring now that they have almost their full squad. AK-45 looking to try to sneak to the back there, maybe try to proxy some waves, considering he is 2-0 right now, and has completed an Eclipse with just a bunch of components on the Void. Like, this is not a good early game at all for the side of SUVO haters. Uh-oh.
Yeah, but AK-45 might be getting caught out over here. This we've seen this before, but nice lesson does keeps that distance for himself, keeps it between the Amumu and the Ambassador. Will make it back to the wave.
Uh,
ASEAN might be on the wrong side of the map, but he's going to have
uh,
some support as well. Here comes the Galio from the heavens. Here came the shockwave, but it's not enough. ASEAN dashes over the wall. The flash forward by the Galio locks up ASEAN, locks up the RD, but ASEAN ends up falling down. This is a very extended chase coming out. AK-45 is looking for blood back essentially over here, and this is a very big Revenant at this point. Itachi might end up going down, doesn't have a flash to get out. He's going to get locked up with the root as well. Unseen Blake carries the kill. The mother comes in, hits all three members. AK-45 ultimate times out. Should be looking to go down here, but doesn't. Mesa comes in the backside, but no. The clip saving the crocodiles alive. Another taunt comes in, lands a two-man nice coming in from Unseen Blake, plus the Q on the wall should be going down, but no, he survives. He flashed to get out of that, but he might end up getting chased. It might be Unseen Blade who falls out instead, but no, the shield comes in for Bob. AK-45 with huge shield when he comes into this fight, picks up the kill onto Navoid, and Bob with the snipe picks up the kill onto the Smolder. This was a very extended 3-for-1 in favor of Revenants, and oh boy, the Clown Fiestas have begun early.
Yeah, and this means that Ashe is just left alone to not just pick up a turret for herself, but is even putting pressure on the second tier turret at 15 minutes into the game. This Ashe is going to have such a massive lead. Like she's essentially 50 CS up on her lading counterpart in this Smolder, and they're not done here because Izian is invading onto the chicken camp, but now he might be caught between a rock and a hard place. Lean trying to provide some peel. RD kind of low flashes forward, misses the bandage shots. Potato Monster gets shockwave in, but this Amumu has no more cooldowns. One above all is joining the fray. Probably going to try to pick up a kill here, but Kama is able to join the fray to keep it alive. And this is a one above all who doesn't have items or HP or any peel. He's just left to die. And it's picked up by the Karma. And also the top lane turret does go down. On top of that, adding insult to injury, AK-45 is taking an extended fight against Navoid, and he definitely does win these. Flash hollow, no, slice forward, dices forward, and he's able to pick up the kill. He is now unstoppable on this crocodile, and things are looking terrible right now for SUVO haters.
It is. I don't even know who's being more of a star player. It's the Karma with these nice shields, or it's AK-45 just dominating the top side. Lean's just being pushed by the support all the way back. RD was coming in for the fight. I didn't like that flash forward by RD last time. The shockwave is all that was that actually ended up picking up the kill. Smolder just walks too far ahead. Maybe he was trying to get the kill onto Potato Monster, but Bob was always there on the backside, was coming with his clutch. The AK-45 at the 16-minute mark is looking to pick up a tier 2 all for himself. That's a lot of gold into this big crocodile in the top side. Unseen Blade trying to be a bit cheeky with RD here. RD has been forced to smite that away for himself. Feats of strength already picked up by the side of Revenant. They're looking like a completely different side compared to game one. They are completely in the driving seat. That's a deathless Renter and a deathless Galio, and they are doing a fantastic job. Bob's still even trying to poke from this side of the Drake pit. Drake has fired up. Objective bounties have come in just because the side of Shoe Raiders are so far behind in terms of gold. Pretty much at the 7k gold mark behind. Bob's walking up mid side against Itachi as well. The Q this time does not hit its mark. The Drake will be looking to start up. A good answer from Shoe Raiders would be trying to be picking up that Rift Herald instead, and that's exactly what they look to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, they have to trade at this point. They know how they definitely have an idea that they are down in gold, but look at the difference. It's 7,500 and we're only 17 minutes into the game, madness. This is not looking good for them. Yes, they are able to pick up a Rift Herald, but they're losing their turrets. They're conceding pressure on the bot side of the map, and very soon that jungle is not going to belong to them. Now you can see Navoid has been scouted out here by the Ashes E, and Unseen Blade is using that extra movement from the phase rush to kind of close the gap, and they're forcing them even further under their turrets. They're getting choked out of their own parts of the jungle. And we're not even 20 minutes into the game. One above all is level 9. He has to use Mum just to try to escape. You can see the Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes wide, but Izian is a little bit too deep. Doesn't have a little bit of it up, maybe but is able to donate a kill, rather, to the side of SUVO haters there. He's just like, okay, take this one for free.
Yeah, well, you given us so much, you take this one. But honestly, yes, very overextended with it. Thought maybe he can get one above all, but his entire team was there. Unseat Blade might also end up getting cut out. He has a good shutdown bounty on him as well. It's about who ends up picking this one up, because I don't think
He's dead.
Unseat Blade is getting out this anytime soon. But here comes the TP.
Oh!
Here comes the hero's entrance. He uses it to get out. The shockwave was coming just in time to maybe prevent it, but you can't actually. He's just going to get
Hero's
out of
exit.
that. What look. Hero's exit exactly coming in from the galley over there. Now he continues his deathless. His bounty doesn't go over to anyone. He's in a fantastic mode. AK-45 is pretty much on the push mode. He is 2 levels up onto the boy. Potato Monster is almost 2 levels up onto one of. He is 1 level up right now. Unseen Blade is equal to sending. RD is a level up onto Ezin after Ezin has slightly been inting this game. Don't want to say so much bad about him, but he's usually the guy who's on the other side of this, where he's the one with most of the gold falling around him. But AK-45 doing a fantastic job with this side, has the Spear of Shojin, has the Eclipse, has the tier 3 steel caps as well, and it looks like Revenants completely assert their dominance in this driver's seat. Now the gold lead has been shrunk slightly below from the 7k to the 6k mark, but there's still a huge gap between these two teams right now. RD hasn't been that useful on the moment. We've only seen one good ultimate, and that was to pick up a kill on a Potato Monster that was over staying his welcome in the bot side near his tier 1. But other than that, not much fault coming out for them. The Smolder is really far behind. He's 0-1. Essence Reaver completed, but the Ash is way far ahead in terms of some items, plus the Yuntas that he completed for himself. He's not going at the Kraken or the Brock route. He's going what the Ash was going pre this patch anyway. So let's see if that will be paying out. But let's see what comes out. Atakan has spawned up on the top side, and Nessian's already looking to make his mark over there.
Yep, Ascena started this off knowing how much control that they have on the top side of the map. You can see that with the way SUVO haters have kind of, conceded so much in the early game, they have no business walking up at all. So that's going to basically just be an uncontested Otacon that's going to go to them. You can see that the answer is going to be a stacked 4-man on the bot side of the map. But this leaves Smolder in a very vulnerable position to get dough with. But okay, the Uber is gonna actually exit towards towards the river. Maybe try to clear out some wards, but they're gonna maybe lose its second tier turret in the mid lane as well. But not if SUVO haters have something to say about that. You can see that they're kind of grouping up around. They don't want to give this turret away for free as well. You can see Unseen Blade is actually unfazed. Even in the face of 3 people, does get Shockwave back into the Rakan knockup. Rakan does use his ultimate to charm up Bob as well as Unseen Blade, but the Enchanted Crystal locks Itachi in place, heal having to be burned, and a teleport is coming in. AK-45 in the middle of 5 people uses Dominus, but the hero's entrance is able to keep him alive, and this turret is probably going to fall over here, but they're not taking the turret. Flash Q by Bob is able to secure that kill, and my goodness, things are not looking good. They're going from bad to worse for SUVO haters who now have to just run away. Navoid, I'm not sure you want to go in like that. You're able to pick up a kill, but at what cost? He's able to... Oh, it's so messy, but I mean, that is a shutdown that he's going to get for himself. And the push, I think, is going to end here.
Yeah, the push should be ending here. Without the Ash, I don't think there's much of a push potential coming in, but that was a very messy fight. One above all might be looking to go down. AK-45 slices over the wall, flashes forward with the Q, picks up the kill onto the Smolder. That's his 3rd death of the game. AK-45 will slice his way across the wall again, comes back to this side, but the tier 2 bot side will shortly fall to the hands of Ezin, who's just chomping away. It's a 6-0-4 Renekton right now, and I think that here actually came in hugely clutch in that fight where AK-45 TPs into 5 members, like you're saying. The dominance gets procced by him, but the hero's entrance provides the shields. And on a main point, a lot of the abilities from the side of Humidis were burnt on a Galio early on. The Shockwave was used, the Rakan ultimate was used, and they didn't have much left for the fight when everyone was grouping up then. And Drake is up. This is Mountain Soul point for the side of Revenants. They're really looking to pick this up. Itachi, you're walking a bit too close over here. You have to be a bit careful. Here comes the Galio who walks in. Here comes the taunt. Here comes the Enchanted Arrow. That should be a very dead Itachi. He tries to flash away. Here comes the Shockwave yet again, but I think you're going to sacrifice a Mumu for your mid laner instead just before the Drake fire. So this should signal a free Mountain Soul for the side of Revenants.
Yep, free Mountain Soul, and you two have no business being there. Please back away. Don't give them any more kills on top of this. Don't make it an extended chase. right now, if I was the side of SUVO haters, I'd probably go back to the drawing board and accept that this game is pretty much done and dusted. Like, there is no way in hell that you're going to come back from such a huge, like, just overall team draft gold everything gap.
True. I exactly as you said. The Smolder is never going to be allowed to be a factor. He is so far behind the Ash right now. He's 0-3-2. His stacks are not even at the point where he needs to be a factor in these fights. The Shockwave comes in over there, but Itachi, you had walked a bit too close by to that Galio, and Galio is going to make you punish. RD actually pays for your sins at the end of the day. Baron's going to be up in 1 minute's time. The side of Revenants have Mountain Soul. They're even tankier than they were before. It's going to be hard to burn through the Galio before. Now it's going to be almost near impossible to do much. Bob playing very well on this Karma as well. Clutch Shield coming in these fights. Plus that, Flash
Yeah.
Q last time secured a kill for himself. So the entire team of Revenants doing way, way better than what game one was looking by for the side. The Void with some questionable choices on the Sambeso on some of these picks he's going for. He did get a shutdown that time in the fight, but it allows tier 2 to fall as well at the end of the day. RD's Amumu's never going to come online if he keeps on playing this. AK-45 has to be careful, has to walk away, and that's exactly what he does. His entire team is close by, maybe come for a re-engage. They spot out the pink ward that they're going to clear up. Vision is going to be chosen to deny it from the side of SUVO hitters. They can't actually go for much. You can see Navoid trying to do his signature split push at this point because he knows he's so far behind his team, so far behind. A 5v5 is never going to be on the cards, at least for the next 10 or 20 minutes, just given how it's going, but I think this is just looking phenomenal for their side. Here comes AK-45 against Navoid on the bot side. Navoid, you've overstayed your welcome. You've not realized this is a big bad crocodile over there. He tries to use ultimate to close some gap. He does actually get some dashes away, but now AK-45 has slice and dice forward. If the W connects, it could be a big problem, but Navoid has unlimited dashes almost at this point. He flashes to get out. RD comes in with the bandit shot, does not connect. You might even have to burn the ultimate from the moment. That's exactly what he does. The dominance proc by Director. Now it looks like Reddit is on the wrong side of this. Here comes the Enchanted Arrow. It stops the movement in tracks. AK-45 picks up the kill. He makes the kill onto the Ambassa as well. Lean, you can't do much even with the shockwave from Itachi, and AK-45 with the slight help of the Enchanted Arrow will pick up 2 kills in that 4v1 over there. Oh, and they're not done. Lean looks to be caught out as well. Here comes the W from Potato Monster, and that's a very dead Rakan. I just think this is the end, is it not, Hades?
Yeah, this is definitely the game over, man. Like, you're 26 minutes into the game. You guys are way too far behind. They're essentially down, like, what is this goal? More than 12,000 at this point, like 13,000 now. And, yeah, like, this is pretty much done and dusted, madness. I don't see any way that they can come back. And, I mean, this is to be expected, from the side of Revenants. They had to kind of bounce back and, like I said, put their foot down, stamp their authority in this game. And you can see that AK-45 over there just essentially was in a 4v5, like 4v1 on this crocodile, and he's just being an absolute menace. He's legendary right now. Mom is going to come down, but Gwen is immune. And they're going to try to make one last-ditch effort to try to hold on to the shambles of their base. But SUVO haters, I don't think you guys are going to survive, even under your third Nexus turrets. Teleport is being channeled. This just might be the end of the game. Navoid is stunted up, is trying to use his dashes to get away, but AK-45 is just relentless in his pursuit. Bob is on a rampage on this support Karma. Is a little bit of under fire here, has to flash away, but now Potato Monster with this uptime, shredding through the members of SUVO haters are falling like flies. And as the Nexus falls, 23 kills to 7, absolute domination by the side of Revenants in game 2.
And they're going to take us all the way to that game 3, crucially over here. Unfortunately, I think that means the end of SUVO haters' journey towards that playoff mark, because now, unfortunately, even if they do win that third game, that ultimate game, they can only get 2 points. But just look at how much of a factor AK-45 is over here. The Hero's entrance coming in clutch so many times, but AK-45 is doing so much in these team fights. Even the flash forwards and a lot of taunts coming in from unseen players. Now, with the good engages coming in for their side, with the good disengage coming in with their comp, their draft, they look so much better. And this time, they do pull it off quite well. The Smolder never came online. The Ambessa had questionable odds going in. The Oriana sometimes hit really good shockwaves, but there were never any follow up. And RD on this Amumu, bit lackluster. Lean couldn't do much on this. I think Bob did a phenomenal job on the Karma. ASCENSION did pretty good on the Gwen, and AK-45 did what AK-45 does. He dominated the top side. He did play his matchup quite well over there. And who said this man is just a mid lane? He is definitely a very good top laner at the end of the day. I think with Unseen Blade back in the picture, with AK-45 on a comfortable champion top side, with Potato Monster back in his ADC role, with Bob filling up the support where he's meant to be, I think this is what the Revenants, this is what the third place looks like of the leaderboard. This is their true potential. But just talking about how the scoreboard looks like, it's 23 kills for Revenants to the 7 of SUVO haters. It was a 17k goal difference by the end. 1 tower SUVO just to the 10 taken by Revenants. They completely blew open the mid and bot side. All 4 Drakes secured, plus that Mountain Soul for Revenants. Baron secured for them. Only the Herald went to SUVO haters, but 3 Grabs, Atakan, everything else going over to the side of Revenants.
Yeah, and I kind of called it. I was just like, they need to play the Uno reverse card. And Uno reverse card they played indeed. It was an absolute stomp in the second game. And looking at the man on your screen, the MVP, AK-45, take a bow, my friend. The T-shirt says it all. He is a champion. And I did like, the fact that he had so many 5s. Because I think that was definitely worthy of all the 5 ratings under the planet. He definitely evolved like a Pokemon to AK-47 in that game, and a well-deserved MVP spot. 907, over 1,000 damage per minute on this Renekton, and very good CS numbers, and the goal differential also just sky high. Well-deserved, my friend. Take a bow. You definitely put your team on your back and proved that you can stand toe-to-toe with some of the best top laners in this league, in this region, with that performance on this Renekton.
Yeah, and so many times his rated was in like 1v2s, 1v3s, even a 1v4 where he came out on top with the help, a slight help of the gendered arrow coming from Potato Monster. But another good shoutouts to be given over here after AK-45. He did so well for himself. I think another good shoutout would be given towards Bob, because in those earlier fights, those Karma Shields came in hugely clutch at that, that fight that happened at Blue Buff that turned pretty much the perplexion of how this game was looking. So Bob did a fantastic job over there. ASCENSION was going snip in these fights, did good. But I think, yes, Bob and AK-45 definitely the people carrying this game. AK-45 doing a mammoth job over here. Created so much pressure wherever he was on the map. Everyone had to actually pay attention to where he was going, and let's see what kind of else top laners he has in store for us. And I'm a bit slight disappointed Bind avoids Ambessa. It was slight lacking compared to what his Aatrox looks like, what his other champions look like, so maybe has to adjust to that. And maybe just because of Fearless Shaft, this is what makes difference between third place and where SUVO haters is currently standing. But with that being said, guys, we will, before we head into the third game, we will be taking a very short break before the action resumes.
Don't go anywhere.
top, won't stop. I'm gonna be the man, yeah, I gotta cut the knot. Haters really on me, tryna take my spot. But we go up, yeah, we never gon' drop. Alright, yeah. 1, 2, 3, mic check, what's up? 2, 3 on my back, it's tough. Light years ahead, just call me Buzz. Hitting a shot in sync with the boys. I feel like Joel Embiid, the process, yeah, I trust. Accolades got them swallowing the words, cause I know that they doubted us. Touch, can't touch this. I know they throwing that dirt on my name. When I check on my tag, it be spotless. Look in the mirror and snap my fingers and point like you know you got this. Winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man. Who gon' stop this? No one. Give it all I got. I'm going to the top. I'm going in. Right on the way to the top. 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 I'm going in. I'm like I'm gonna win. Flip the letter I stick it. I came from the bottom to the top, but I'm not finished. I just needed me a minute. Stand at attention, lieutenant. I gotta get up and get it. All I'm focused on is winning. He not gonna cheat code. We win until the clock gon' hit zero. I'm finding my way back like I was Nemo. Do it, I am a dynamic duo. Win and win. That's right, my nickname is winning. Gotta walk in the building, gotta inspire the children. Wanna see my ambition, I'm not a regular civilian. Give me all I got. I'm going to the top. Right on the way 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 to the top. Did it, I did it. I'm going in, got me like all grind. Woo! Gotta go up to the top, won't stop. I'm gonna be the man, yeah, I gotta cut the knot. Haters really on me, tryna take my spot. But we go up, yeah, we never gon' drop.
Guys, we are back with League of Legends Legends in South Asia. It's me, Menace, alongside Hades, and we do have, a bit of an anticlimax for our third game coming in over here, because it was a pretty heated series. It was a 1-1 going on. Chuva just take first game, Revenants take second game. Now, unfortunately, in game 3, we're going to be in a 4v5 on the side of SUVO. They had 2 players leave. ARG will be filling in. So, like I said, a bit of an anticlimactic moment. Given how well game 1 went, how well game 2 went, it was, a bit one-sided in each team's favor. And then game 3, I was just hoping for, all-out brawl going out, given Fearless Draft, a lot of champions out. But don't think we're going to get to see the level of excitement that I was hoping for here.
Yeah, we saw 4v5 before. It wasn't. Props to them. They maybe could just pick some champions and have fun. Teemo, Singed, right, of course. But yeah, no, I mean, it's like you said, Matt, is very anticlimactic. So yeah, I don't see how SUVO haters can win. I mean, anyways, they're kind of out now because they did the second game. But maybe if I was them, I'd just have some fun. Secure that prize money that they will be getting at the end of this tournament, because that's what they're playing for now. They're playing for money. And what better, reason than to play 4v5? Hey, we're getting paid for it, so why not?
True. 4v5, you get paid for it. Why not? Treat it like a bit of a custom fun at this point for their side. But Revenants make the switch over to the blue side. SUVO is going to be on the red side over here. They also do have one of their subs coming in. It's going to be ARG. We've only seen him once throughout this tournament in a 2-game series over there, where he was filling in for RD in the jungle role. This time I think my little birdie told me he might be playing mid lane instead, and D-King, or one above all as you know him, will be playing the bot side all by himself, the same way that Invoker did in the matchup in which Poro Patrol were playing a 4v5, essentially in that first game of theirs in that series. But yeah, we have seen one 4v5 before. This is going to be the second one. The first 4v5, it looked a bit competitive, but at the end of the day, still the man advantage is going to run you down, especially when you're against Revenants, especially the 5-man strong Revenants right now. After that kind of dominating performance with the momentum on the side, I don't think SUVO have that much of a chance. But hey, at the end of the day, it's playing experience now. Like Eddie said, they're playing for money. They've already made the money. But hopefully, let's just see how this draft goes on over here. As you can see, there's only one slot unavailable on SUVO side. The draft is already started. We already have 3 bans on both sides. It's going to be the Yorick, the Nocturne, the Leon. Everyone's taking it very seriously in terms of banning over here, at least. The Hecarim, the Caitlyn, and the Vladimir from SUVO, and it's going to be the Yone getting locked in, which I thought might be going into the hands of the Void, but they're going to take that especially away from him at the lightning speed.
Yeah, and it can be flexed into the mid or the top lane as well. Unseen can potentially pilot this champion as well. Let's see if Void's going to answer back with maybe something like, Fura is a decent matchup into the Yone, but instead he's going to go with the Mordekaiser, which he's laying down the gauntlet, so we have 2 champions with helmets. Maybe they're picking a helmet composition here. The Pantheon, the Mordekaiser. Let's see if there's going to be any more helmet champions in this game. Instead, it's going to be the Y locked in the mid lane, probably followed by a Talia here in the mid lane for Unseen Blade. But no, he's going to go for the Unseen Blade. Maybe here on the Z. So Unseen Blade picking his namesake, championing. Oh, no, he's just teasing us. He's going to pick up the Aurora. Good pickup here. Could have been the Talia as well, because the Talia Y combo is just so oppressive. But you can see Aurora has also been traditionally such a good pick, even in competitive play, even in solo queue. And instead, it's going to be Face the Wind in the mid lane, picked up here. The Yasuo being locked in. So yeah, they're going all in. They're going.
It's looking a bit iffy because I thought Void would be playing that Yas. Instead, the Yuumi ban comes in for SUVO. I don't know what that is all about. Now they're just having fun with their banning phase, because I didn't think the Yuumi was going to be coming in. But Void probably playing the Yas, so maybe we get to see ARG on the Mord instead. The Shaco ban, they're definitely trolling. I think they maybe think Bob might take the support Shaco because he has a tendency to do something like that, but no. Ezreal ban comes out from Revenants. Maybe that would have been the safer, bot lane champ from the Hui also gets banned up. But the Irelia is getting picked up over here. So a complete 380 and 1 AP comp. They're all kind of that bruiser, kind of go in your face kind of champions. Potato Monster is going to be locking in the comp. I think we've seen it just once before from his side in Legends End. And I think Bob's Blitzcrank will be coming out. I think they want to end it as fast as possible, Revenants, because I think they're having a bit of time. But no, they're going for a champion with the Rel. No, he just teased us. I think it should be that Blitz coming out. It should be the Blitz, because it's a Bob Blitz. That's the best way you can end this series off on a bit of a serious note. But no, is it not the Blitz? It's going to be the Rel that gets locked in for Bob over here. So there you have it, your draft. I don't think we even have to talk about which team looks a bit more stacked over here, because it looks a bit tough. But at least with the mod, you can take someone away to Brazil and make it a 4v4. No, it still becomes a 4v3, but it's still better numbers for you. But I honestly want to see how they play it out.
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna expect like maybe them to pick something like a Kog'Maw Lulu, which would just be so oppressive to anyone having to lane against them, and especially champions that have these kind of all-in team compositions. Lulu is the perfect pick into them because hey, polymorph, good luck. Trying to dive my back line if I'm gonna turn you into a little frog or a chicken or whatever it is that Lulu turns champions into. But that being said, there's nothing really much to discuss because obviously it's going to favor Revenants considering this is a 4v5. Let's just see how quickly they will try to close out this game. And if there is that, 0.00000000001% chance that SUVO haters can win, let's hope that Doctor Strange has foreseen that future and they're actually able to kill Thanos this time. So the Avengers will essentially be assembling for the side of SUVO haters in their final match against Revenants. And unfortunately, due to family commitments, players decided that they had to step away. But I still have to give them props. We'll give SUVO haters the flowers that they deserve for actually taking on this challenge, despite it being a 4 versus 5. The money is going to matter, and that's what they're playing for. And right now, even if they're able to even get solo bolos, I guess that gives them bragging rights to say that in a 4v5 we were able to, beat some of the Revenant solo laners in a solo bolo situation. So it's going to be a fun match. I'm expecting to see a lot of chaos, bodies being thrown around, along with, families and significant others, like I've said before. It's probably going to be a bloody game all the way until one of the Nexus does fall. And I think, unfortunately for the SUVO haters, it's going to be their Nexus that will be falling here. But not to take anything away from them, they were able to get a win off of Revenants after all.
Exactly, they did get a win. They had that notch under their belt. Unfortunately, 4v5 for them. 2 of their members couldn't make it. They had to go, like you said, for family commitments. ARG will be filling in as well. He's going to be playing the Pantheon that he had played once before in Legends Ascend. But this is looking like the final match for SUVO haters in Legends Ascend, at least right now. And you can see both Twin Brothers are going to be in the rift on the opposite side. AK-45 with the Yone and Avoid with his signature Yasuo. Maybe this time he gets some flashy plays, gets some TikTok clips for himself. Let's see how well he can plan that out for him. But honestly, like you said, it's going to definitely be looking to go in Revenant's favor. Not much SUVO haters can do. Might even be a pre-20-minute game, depending on how it goes and how the matchup goes. I honestly want to see who's going to be playing bot side for them. Maybe just the Irelia. He's going to have such a hard time. Because traditionally, when we see a 4v5, it's usually just the bot side. You just don't have the support. You have someone else filling in for him. But yeah, hopefully they do a fantastic job. And maybe, like you said, get some bragging rights with that solo bolos. Maybe try and get something like that. But other than that, it's just brownie points for the side of Revenants because they pretty much secured their Cs. They pretty much secured a 2-1. They did get all 3 points, but pretty much will be getting 2 out of the 3 points for themselves, securing furthermore their 3rd place in Legends Ascend, and unfortunately knocking SUVO haters out of the competition.
Yeah, but if I was SUVO haters, I wouldn't really, be upset or sad with their performance. They had a good showing in this tournament so far. They have, they had the reputation of being the dark horse in this tournament, and they did live up to their hype. And this is a team of friends, like you said, right, Madness, who come together and relatively new team, and they're showing that they do have plenty of areas that they could grow and improve and come back even stronger in the next tournaments that will be taking place. But for now, if I were them, I'll just look to try to enjoy this game like it was a custom game. Just have some fun. It's gonna be their last game, in this tournament. So yeah, just look to try. Look to try to just have some fun, and just maybe try to put on a show. See some flashy Irelia outplays, some Yasuo outplays, even Mordekaiser being like, "I'm gonna take your support into my room," and then what happens from there onwards? Hide your children's eyes. You do not want to see that. So let's see how this game goes. I hope that they'll be able to at least put up a pretty good fight here, just for the sake of bragging rights, and look to bounce back in future tournaments as well. But for now,
definitely, it will be a bit of a learning experience for them about how they want to play their champs here. The one at least gets to play is Yasuo. I'm pretty sure he's happy about that as well. His team time and time can tell him, please don't pick the Yasuo, please don't take the Nas Jutier, but this time he gets to play the Yasuo at least. It's a fun time for them. Like you said, treat it like a custom and treat it as it is looking, right? It's a 5-4 against a top 3 team. It's going to be a hard battle even if you had 5 men, but with 4 men I think it's even on the worst side. But let's see how well they can brush it off, take it as it goes, as it is, maybe not just take it too hard that much. But like you said, it will help maybe in future tournaments and bragging rights. These are people who know each other, people who are friends throughout different servers, and they have a lot of fun time to time. So like later on, maybe customs that they're holding, like, I killed you solo kill in a 4v5, so what do you think about that kind of scenario goes on. So let's see if they can actually manage any of that things. But yeah, unfortunately for SUVO, like we're talking about, this is going to be their last game in Legends Ascent. That is going to be Revenants definitely qualifying for the playoffs, and the 4th place battle is still heating up. It's, I think, between Syndicate and Phoenix Ascension right now about who's actually going to be nabbing that 4th place. And I think they also have a matchup coming up, so that's going to be a very interesting thing to watch out throughout this weekend over here, because we are in the last week of the league stage, guys. This is week 6, day 1. So during this week itself, we will be seeing that the matchup which will decide which team actually gets grabbing that 4th position.
Yeah, and do either of the teams have to win in any particular order to secure their 4th spot madness? Based on the point system here, if you could maybe...
I think if the point system happens, and if they're on the equal points, it's about that tie between them, the matchup tie, who actually won between them when they faced off in the league stage, is about who will actually end up on top. I think they both have 2 games left, if I'm not wrong, or even just maybe the 1 game, but it depends on how those points actually match up. Yes, today itself, we saw that Phoenix Ascension did get a walkover from Jettfire Dojo, so they locked in very crucial 3 points in that leaderboard for themselves, because unfortunately Jettfire Dojo didn't show up, and Phoenix Ascension, I think, was anyway the favorites in that matchup to take it to like a 2-0 in the series, pick up all 3 points. But hey, at the end of the day, secured 3 points for you. You're going to be happy about it moving forward, and let's just see how that matchup goes for them against Syndicate members, and let's see if we get that Sri Lankan team in our playoffs and if they can make a splash, because they did start the tournament off on the slower side but have been picking up the pace as it has been continuing on. Like, you've seen them picking up series quite a bit here and there, except for dropping that game against RPG earlier on, a game against Border Patrol. They did win up the series, but they dropped that one game that made it 1 point less over there, so that affects them towards the end. I think they're kicking themselves in the back for that, because they were pretty much the favorites going into those matchups, but unfortunately just couldn't pull it off at that time. But hopefully now, with the form that Phoenix Ascension is in, they can look to be securing their place. But Syndicate is also nothing to back away from. They have also been starting to pick up some wins. They also had a very slow start. So it's a battle between teams that started slow in the tournament but are now picking up the pace, and about the matchup between them. But guys, without any further ado, we're jumping into Game 3 of this best of 3 series between Revenants and SUVO. SUVO had won the first games. Revenants won the second game, and unfortunately, in Game 3, it's going to be a 4-man SUVO versus the entire 5-man of Revenants. Revenants on the blue side, SUVO on the red, and given the man disadvantage, Revenants have completely grouped up and are looking for maybe a pick early on.
Oh yeah, they're definitely gonna look to try to invade. They know they have the numbers. They're probably not gonna fight anything, and ASCENSION basically is going to be oh no. Artie, no!
Oh, Artie runs away.
Okay, yeah, he just did it. Yep. He probably dropped his panties on the ground there, guys. If you look, he must have had a jump scare there. Like, oh my god, there's 5 people in this bush.
I think he should have anticipated, given the late start he had from the Nexus, that there would be people there. Just that added movement speed of Nexus allowed him to get away. He's coming forward against AK-45 and ASCENSION, but he has to be careful. Bob's just across over here. He saw his Unseen Blade. ARG is trying to hover as much as he can. It looks like it's a Mordekaiser jungle and an ARG mid. So it's ARG versus Unseen Blade. That might be a bit of a problem for the Pantheon if he doesn't get the moves. Nice electrocution proc onto the Mordekaiser, pushing out of his own jungle. But here comes ARG with a spear to the Aurora's forehead, takes some damage away from him as the laning phase will be looking to starting over here. You can see the Rel is just looking for robes, doesn't care about the bot side because it knows it's a 1v1 over there. So Rel can be looking for these added, roams earlier on, and that's exactly what Bob is looking to do.
Yeah, and but I would be very afraid of leaving Potato Monster alone against an Aurelia, especially at level 2. Where he could potentially land the stun and look to try to all in this ADC. And good trades, it's brother versus brother in the top lane, Yon versus Yasuo. And yeah, it's going to be a battle of skill to see which brother is actually going to come out on top. So level 2 power spike by Navoid there, easily able to just bully his brother out of the lane. And at the same time, Unseen Blade also, getting the level up there in the mid lane, able to proc his Electrocute and land a big chunk of damage. On to ARG5432, who goes in so aggressively with the W and the Ignite. I'm not sure that's what he wanted, but now here comes the Rel to try to back up one above all, but he is just going to dash back and get back to safety. Not bad, though. You have to give them props for actually playing this ballsy against in a 4v5.
Yeah, and both healing pots from the side of the Unseen Blade use. ARG uses his own as well. He's taking a lot of damage. The range of Unseen Blade is there. Nice jump away after the W coming in from the Pantheon, but he does get some damage back as well. But look at the CS difference. ARG is not chasing up. He's trying to look for trades back, but the CS numbers are not looking that good. On the top side, Avoid gets the wave pushed in, maybe looking for a back, but no, he forces the back out of AK-45 earlier on. Now we'll be looking to get the wave completely pushed in for himself. You can see ASCENSION is started on the top side, going bot over here. Mord started bot, is on the top side, so on the opposite sides of the map. And Unseen Blade is anyway in a precarious situation, will be looking to trade as much as he can. Avoid trading nicely against AK-45, but AK-45s come with a dagger, so you have to be careful. AK-45 does snap back into place. Avoid is looking to fall down. The Q3 does not connect, but here comes RD from the side. ASCENSION's also here. ARG dodges the flash Q by the Vi, and that should equal the death of ASCENSION. That's a 1-for-1. Now AK-45 is in a very tough spot. Doesn't have flash, but does have Q3 to get that distance for himself, and that's exactly what he will do. So he ends up surviving from the gank from RD. But ARG comes out a bit better. In a 2v1 underneath his start, he does end up going 1-for-1. So he's going to be a bit happy about that. Bot side, one above all against Bob. Potato Monster is just keeping his distance, keeping the wave frozen. So one above all can't even walk up, can't even get any CS. That's a very smart strategy against this Aurelia.
Yeah, and just abusive gameplay. Reported. Come on, it's a 4v5. Guys, at least let it push the wave. But now you can see, it's slowly going to bounce back towards him, so he should be fine here. He's not going to really miss out on much. And meanwhile, in the top side, this matchup already favoring the Yasuo, so Navoid coming slightly ahead of AK-45. But now, repeat gank in the mid lane, which would probably mean... I think he's okay. Oh, he had to flash.
He needed to.
I guess he wasn't unsure if Unseen Blade had one more spell there, because if he did, but look at that. One above all just comes in, just cleans him up instead, just picks up a kill, and now they ping the missing.
A bit of BM. I think they thought one above all had backed instead, but no, one above all. Nice roam comes, picks up the kill onto ASCENSION, gets a nice stun onto Potato Monster, is trying to trade as much as he can. No, the Q misses. The E misses from him, but nice stun up for Bob underneath that turret. Bob is fine. Bob takes too many turret shots. Bob was not fine. Bob was almost dead over there. That's Bob almost end up falling down. Potato Monster is trying to get some kills into it. Here comes the stun from one above all. He gets the Q in. He's going to get full stack, but here's Bob. The flash getting matched instantly over there, but the last out of from Potato Monster claims the kill. Void might be in a tough spot. Unseen Blade flash forward, gets the kill. AK-45 eats a treasury, just about survives over there. So Revenants do secure the feats of Warfare. 1 HP. Yone does actually come back over there, but this is a TP coming in from the Aurelia bot side. He will be walking in. Bob, you have to be a bit careful of your spacing. Yeah, you have to back out. Or one of them was going to pick up the wave instead. Looks like Scuttle is being picked up by ARG at this point. I don't think how much he can do for that, but no, it's Drake instead with the help of RD. As in, you're a bit far from home. You have to be careful. This is a level up Mordekaiser onto you. But SUVO haters actually pick up jungle objectives in a 4v5.
Wow, yeah, you guys could definitely have bragging rights. I mean, you can see that Revenants are, trying so hard to just abuse the fact that they have the numbers in their favor. But you can see that SUVO haters aren't going down without a fight. Instead, they, like you said, they've secured a dragon for themselves. And ARG, brother, I don't think you should be trying to take aggressive trades like that. But hold a thought. One above all is taking a lot of damage. Easian is here, but now Potato Monster has to flash away as the ultimate is being used. He's trying to get on top of Potato Monster, but hey, it's okay. I'll take the flash, which means next time Potato Monster is not going to have, a flash ready against this Irelia, which if he pushes up a little bit too far forward, would definitely end up losing to such a strong solo champion. Avoids Q2 going wide there. But now the Battle of the Brothers does continue. Good knock-up there by AK-45. I'm sure the wind wall there was not really intended to be used. And you can see that Pantheon is just really struggling in this matchup against this Aurora.
Oh yeah, definitely. Almost a 20 CS lead for the Unseen Blade. Top side, Navoid has a slight CS lead for himself. RD is walking up as well. AK-45 doesn't have flash, mind you. So if he walks up too much, it might be a problem. If he uses his E, if he uses the Q3 to go in, RD might be looking to go for a pick. But I think he's going to get spotted out pretty soon over here. AK-45 didn't use the Q3 to go in, but Navoid will be. Here comes RD. He's trying to lock him up in place, but I don't think that will happen. The E nicely dodged by AK-45, but he gets tornadoed up. But his Q3 was still buffering. He does get away from that exchange. You see that Bob and the side of Asian were coming top side just in case it got a bit dicey for the Yone. But Yone completed Berserker is very fast over there as well. Navoid not going for that. He's going directly for the Blade of the Ruin King instead, I guess. Potato Monster is left alone against the Aurelia bot side. ARG, you are recalling in the wrong spot, my man. You're going to get locked up in place. This is a very dead Pantheon. Who gets the kill? It's going to be Unseen Blade going 2-0-1. And it's not looking that good for Sugar. AK-45 this time will snap forward, will get some hits away, but will look to be snapping back pretty anytime soon. Has equaled the CS lead that Navoid had built up for one of them all is just waiting this bush. Potato Monster is also waiting. He knows that this could be a problem as well. Potato Monster, you're walking a bit too forward. You're going to get stunned up. You're going to get knocked around. The ultimate is available by one of all if he wants to go for this final ultimate here, but no, he chooses not to. Potato Monster dishing out more damage. I thought it should have been an option for one of all actually to ult and just go in for more over there. I think you actually secure that kill, but he's just choosing to err on the side of caution and not actually go that deep. RD is walking down on the bot side. They may be even looking to be about diving this Kog'Maw, and he has to be careful of this opportunity.
Yeah, the opportunity is definitely present itself. RD does have the ultimate. They're going to look to push this wave onto the turret. Mordekaiser's Spectrum, the E does go wide. But still, he is under a lot of pressure. You can see the rel is starting to move, but Potato Monster, you need to probably back away with the Q hit in the other direction. Not sure that's what RD wanted. But it is a plate that's going to go to them. But now here comes Easian, and is in the 1v1 against this Mordekaiser. What above all try to land his flawless duet. Is not able to successfully get there, but oh no, there's a double kill for the Mordekaiser who just came out of his death realm and pulls the puppy back. He's going to look to try to get the triple kill, but no. He forfeits his life. Here comes Unseen Blade to pick up his third kill of the game. And yeah, I mean, even though the kills are 7-4 and there is essentially a 4,000 goal lead to the side of Revenants, SUVO haters actually proving that even in a 4v5, they are willing to make some plays happen. So props to them. Take the bragging rights, my friends. You all deserve it.
Yeah, definitely. And nice gank coming in over there. They secure Potato Monster. Ezin goes to Brazil, ends up dying to the Mord over there. I think the Mord over extended trying to get the rel underneath the turret. Other than that, if he walked away, he would have been fine. But even Unseen Blade comes for the cleanup, so even then, maybe Ward would not be on the best of terms. But it's 7 kills to 4 right now, 4.7k goal lead for the side of Revenants. AK-45 taking quite a bit of damage against Navoid. He did go for the cancel over in the base. Navoid has the Q3, is not going to land onto his brother over there. But now it's AK-45 with the slight CS lead of himself. Navoid looking to go in, but here comes Unseen Blade. AK-45 was baiting all this time. The hop from Aurora gets interrupted by the Q3 from Navoid. Here comes the ultimate used by Aurora. Here comes AK-45, has his own ultimate. We tried to use that as well. Has the stab, but here comes ARG from the heavens. That's a very dead Yone. Unseen Blade, there's not many places you can go. The flash forward by the Pantheon locks him up, plus Navoid with the Q3 into the ultimate, secures the kill, and what looked like a bait from the side of Revenants turned out to be them paying the price and them falling in their own mousetrap.
Oh yeah, they did not expect I don't think they expected the Pantheon to ultimate and join that fight, but that's exactly what happened. And the response rather, was the dragon that was picked up there by the side of Revenant. So picking up a ocean dragon for themselves helped them up with some extra regen. And in the void here, picks up 2 plates for himself in the top side. Even has a flower there to pick up for himself if he wants to. You can see Ezin is hovering around, but I'm not sure he wants to go one above all. Needs to be a bit careful. He does not have any vision and could potentially be Do if he steps a little bit too far forward. Okay, you can see Mordekaiser is walking up and is probably going to get CC'd to death. But he doesn't have his ultimate and he's probably going to die. But will he take Ezin with him? Ezin actually having to flash away. Bob using the magnet storm to pull the Mordekaiser back in. But here comes one above all. But he's in a 3v1. He uses his ultimate, but it's not going to do much. He's going to have to try to run under his start. Flash forward by Unseen Blade. Lands the combo. Very clean on that play. He's able to pick up the kill and bunny hop away from that situation.
Yeah, basically the third or fourth time we see him, I think the second or third time we see him flash combo like that as well. He's doing a fantastic job on the Aurora over here. And like we talked about, one of them walks a bit too far, more gets caught out by that bush presence. Unseen Blade uses the ultimate just to come back into lane. Does a lot of damage onto ARG, but he has to be careful. The Pantheon can actually turn it around onto him. This is a Pantheon with Eclipse as well. You have to just whittle him down slowly and surely, but over there, nice Q3 lands by AK-45 against Navoid. Navoid is battling here, but he's not ready for Ezin to be coming into the picture. The Q misses from the vibe, but I don't think that's going to prevent too much. The E through the minion gets the kill on to Navoid there on the top side. So Navoid not going to be very happy about that. The Kraken has been completed by him as well. So he's going a different route, not going the Bork essentially that side. He's not even built his boots as of yet. One above all looking to go in, maybe get some CS for himself, but pretty much is winning in terms of CS, winning in terms of battle. That's 4 times he really has fallen down. RD is coming up onto AK-45. AK-45 has to be a bit careful. RD doesn't have ultimate, so he's not going to knock him down into place. The Q3 used by AK-45. He does have 2 levels up for the side of AK-45, but he doesn't look to be using it. He uses the Q3 to get out while using some damage. The smite used by RD forces a flash out of the Yone, but here comes the ultimate from Yone. Just barely catches out to the Mord. Ezion's coming in for the help. Ezion ends up taking the kill for himself. While the mid tier 1 falls, the bot tier 1 falls. And this is what we kind of expected. But SUVO haters, bow down. Take a bow, my friends, because you are putting on a show even in a 4v5.
Yeah, and despite losing objectives around the map and conceding pressure, I think one above all should be okay with freezing this lane here instead of pushing it. But instead, no, he's choosing to kind of push it back out. But if I was him, considering how far behind he is on CS, freezing would have been the better option here. Force the other team to kind of walk up. Gonna look to try to take a reset, and the Pantheon, has also completed his Mercury Treads as well to add a little bit more extra a tenacity. But hold a thought, because Yasuo has been subject in the void once again to another gank from Asian, who doesn't seem to be letting go of this pressure. He wants to get this Rift Herald that just spawned on the map, and he's going to get that.
It is looking a bit like this. Navoid ends up going down for the third time. it's it's a bit of a tough situation for this man because he's not been having the best of performances right now. I think we can just exclude anything that happened on his part because he is in a
Yeah, of course.
45. He has been ganked quite a bit. AK-45 is proxying the wave over here. I think this is it at this point. I think we are looking at the beginning of the end. ARG is pushed up quite a bit forward over there on the top side. Might be looking like Bob and AK-45 want to punish this essentially over here. But no, they said
No,
they're
I
just
don't think
taking
they
it
can if he
away
gives them more
farm.
wave there.
Yeah, but RD is deep. RD is against ASEAN in the bot side over here. He does have the realm being poked onto the Y. Why not many places you can go? Use channeling the Q to get across the wall. That's exactly what it is. RD flashes forward with a smite with the bonk, picks up a solo bowler for himself in the opponent jungle. But Navoid using these chickens is going to go forward onto Potato Monster. He has to be careful. Potato Monster flashes away from the tornado, barely lives in that situation.
Yeah. Oh, the
He
flash
does
forward
not.
with the E2.
He does not.
Nope. I think that was Cogba just being a little bit disrespectful. And oh, the last breath does connect, but that means Unseen Blade just lands his full combo on both of them. Picks up the double kill. So yeah, they're kind of fighting tooth and nail at this point. One above all is going to pick up this turret on the bot side, get some much needed gold for himself. But this Aurora is on 13 pages on her book. Uses her bunny hop, but gets just out of vision. Here comes Rob wrapped around, and now one above all is in a bit of a bad place. Does have all of his stacks up, does stack his Conqueror as well, but this is a very fed Aurora, and there is no magic resist really other than for the Merc Treads on the side of that Irelia. So he is going to go down. ARG actually with a very good trade against AK-45 has to make him back away, but he's also going to channel the recall now. But this means that there is so much map pressure conceded. You can see that Y is taking the dragon as well. The third dragon of the game that's probably going to go towards them. And yeah, it's essentially an 8,000 goal lead or 9,000 goal lead at 17 minutes into the game.
Yeah, it is looking like that, but look at this. RD might be getting caught out in his own jungle here. Doesn't have a turret to run to. He does have the tier 2 available. Bob is looking to jump in, but no. Mord is being pushed out of it here. Nice Q3 blocked by the wind wall from Navoid, but the flash forward by Aurora gonna catch up the Yasuo. Yasuo is trying to use the fancy feet, but the ultimate from the Yone connects. It's gonna be Unseen Blade going 9-1-1. He is dominating right now, and they're gonna take every single kill they get. Navoid is being targeted quite a bit on this top side.
Oh yeah, it's a Yasuo. It kind of comes with the champion's identity. If you are playing Yasuo, expect to be camped, expect to be ganked, expect your entire family to be flamed for even picking this champion. So that is the type of aggro that you are going to get from the enemy team if you are playing a champion like Yasuo, especially in a region like South Asia. And yeah, I mean, right now, even though they are putting up a valiant fight, a valiant effort, I still don't see how they will be able to take an advantage because they're 4 melee champions. They don't have much wave clear. They just have this kind of all-in kind of comp, even as a 4v5. So, but credits to them for actually even managing to pick up 8 kills and a dragon in a 4v5. But now, here comes a Magnet Storm from Bob, pulling them back into place. I think the damage is not going to be enough. And I think observers might have disconnected and left the map. Not sure what that was about. But yeah, now you can see the teleport being channeled. The top side, Unseen Blade is now doing his best Light Yagami impression with the Death Note. 21 pages, 21 names having been claimed. And now a Potato Monster is going to forfeit his life to RD in the top side. While Navoid battles it out with... yeah, he's gonna die.
Navoid's gonna go down. Yeah, he's gonna definitely die. There's nothing you can do. Potato Monster is trying to kite his best against the Mord, but there's nothing you can do in that death storm against the Mordekaiser, especially the shield. They were maybe looking to make Shelly dance, but no, Shelly ends up dying over here after the tier 3 and the inhibitor end up falling down. But I don't think there's much else that can be done. Brace has been broken open at around that 19-minute, 50-second mark. It's not even the fastest game of the entire tournament. So that's another point for the side of SUVO. Even in a 4v5, they're not going down without a fight whatsoever. ever. Like you said, they picked up 9 kills. They even picked up 1 Drake, so they even fought for jungle objectives. But now it looks like the beginning of the end. Unseen Blade is really, really fed right now. Not much you can do against him, especially with the AoE damage that comes in. And looks like ARG might be suffering as well. RD's trying to pull people back in to Arns. He started the Q3, misses from AK-45, but this turret is surely to follow suit. I don't think you can protect it much. RD's trying to do his best, but the waves can't be cleared. But Bob goes in with the Magnus Sword with the flash forward as well. Locks up 2 people. But here comes the ultimate from the Yone. He's going to survive as well. Now Void tries to come into this fight, but you've come just to your own demise, my dear friend. There's 3 members down for SUVO haters for no casualties on the side of Revenants.
Yeah, now they're just grouping up and just bullying SUVO haters at this point. You're gonna see what about Wall trying to get a kill back on Ezian, but Ezian is able to flash away, misses his Q, but is able to actually pick up the kill there. And yeah, I think this might be game because look mid.
Oh, it's definitely.
Potato Monster is going to put the final nails in the coffin. They'll be happy with this, but I wouldn't say they should be too happy conceding 9 kills and at even 1 jungle objective in a 4v5. Yeah.
Exactly.
But anyways, GG's well played, and as the Nexus falls at just 21 minutes into the game, Revenants are able to take this series in a 2-1 fashion. Let's just have a look at this quick replay here. Navoid just with no magic resist absolutely ends up getting exploded there by the Aurora, who has had a fantastic performance. She was impacting every single lane, albeit, of course, it was a 4v5. Still playing this champion to perfection and demonstrated right here, just using the abilities in perfect synchronization with the team, able to pick up a double kill. And yeah, the Light Yagami cosplay is complete. Unseen Blade transforming and getting his Death Note to full stacks and was showing that he was the god of death in this matchup. So GG, well played, Revenants, and a very nice try by SUVO haters. I would not be disappointed with that last game at all. And yeah, Madness, that was a fun series to cast. But any final thoughts on this?
I would have honestly liked that 5v5 for the third game. I think everyone was hoping for it because of just how that series had gone. You know, a third game in a best of 3 is always something that you look forward to, especially with Fearless Draft in effect. But yeah, not much you can do. Unseen did an okay job bot side going for himself. The Void was targeted quite a bit, but just looking at the scoreboard over here, it's going to be 23 kills for Evans to the 9 kills for SUVO, which is a good thing. That 1 Drake also in their pocket, mind you, as well. The gold lead at the end, goal difference should not matter just because it's a 4v5. You have 1 less member even getting gold. Rift Herald picked up, Void Grubs picked up, 2 Drakes picked up for Revenants. They did it at the 21-minute mark, so even Atakan was neglected. But yes, good combos coming. Unseen Blade playing for normally Bob with good engages. A nice ultimates coming out from the Yone. But I think, yeah, hats and props off to SUVO haters. They did try their best in a 4v5 situation, especially with their substitute coming in. And ARG did pretty well for himself, except maybe in the laning phase he was getting bullied a bit by the Aurora, but he did have a good gang stop side. He did look for the roams that he was looking for, but unfortunately couldn't make most of it. At the end of the day, it's going to be Revenants winning this best of 3 in a 2-1 fashion against SUVO haters. Unfortunately for SUVO haters, this is their last game in Legends Ascent. And I think Unseen Blade, with those big bulking muscles, is going to be your MVP. 12, 1, and 2, 1,020 damage per minute, 6.9 CS per minute, doesn't matter. He was roaming pretty much everywhere on the map, going for every single kind of ganks. He was pretty much the cleanup crew as well. Good ultimates coming in from him. So he's going to be your MVP of game 1. And I think he did a fantastic job over here, Hades.
Oh yeah, and you can even see even the glasses are matching. And in this head-to-head, you can see that RD, he had a really good showing in this series, despite it, being kind of anticlimactic towards the end, having to play a 4v5. So not going to take anything away from him. You can see that, 15-1-2 to 10-13-5. Even the damage favoring the Unseen Blade in this head-to-head here, essentially having done about 7,000 more damage than RD in this matchup, and the goal differential also almost double. So, yeah, I mean, there's really nothing much to really say about it, except for the fact that SUVO haters did give their best effort despite the situation, and despite, their tournament run coming to an end. I do want to give them my congratulations for making it this far and even, giving us some surprises by completely stomping that first game against Revenants, who ideally would have been most people would have predicted an easy 2-0 by Revenants in the series, but they proved that that is not the case. So now as we look at this league table, we can see Revenants have basically are in tied for first place, but that's only because SUL still have 2 more games to play, if I'm not mistaken, and Kakao Gaming have 1 more game to play. But what we need to keep an eye out for is who is actually going to get that ever crucial, super important 4th spot. And that is going to be decided tomorrow, guys, as PNX Ascension will be playing against Syndicate to decide who will be moving up.
Yeah, and like you said, Phoenix Ascension has 1 more game. Syndicate has 2 more games. But if Phoenix Ascension win out against Syndicate in a 2-0 fashion, they will pretty much secure their spot. Phoenix Ascension will be the team moving forward. But like I said, that matchup is going to be something crucial that you have to look out for. That is your 4th place deciding team. I think the other teams are pretty much out of contention right now about how it should be looking between them. Unfortunately, SUVO did have a good run. They did prove they did earn the moniker the Dark Horse given their matchup, especially against Syndicate, where they beat Syndicate 2-0, which is something that you don't get to say every now and then. And I think they should be really proud of how they showed themselves, Junior and Co, in this tournament. They had a good performance coming in. Hopefully we get to see better things for them in the future, because I think they have in them the potential to be one of the top tier teams in South Asia. And I think this is just the beginning for this team as we continue on with further tournaments in our region. But yeah, Revenants lock in more points, like you said, just because of that match difference. They are where they are sitting second. When Kakao play more games, SUL more games, it might be a bit different. But guys, that's been it for week 6, day 1. It's been me, Madness, alongside Hades, and we will see you for the matches tomorrow.
Alright, yeah. 1, 2, 3, mic check, what's up? 2, 3, on my back is tug. Light years ahead, just call me Buzz. Hitting a shot in sync with the boys. I feel like Joel Embiid, the process, yeah, I trust. Accolades got them swallowing the words, cause I know that they doubted us. Touch, can't touch this. I know they throwing that dirt on my name. When I check on my tag, it be spotless. Look in the mirror and snap my fingers and point like you know you got this. Winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man, winning man. Who gon' stop this? No one. Give it all they got. I'm going to the top. I'm going in. Right on the way to the top. 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 I'm going in. I'm gonna win. Flip the letter I stick it. I came from the bottom to the top, but I'm not finished. I just needed me a minute. Standing attention, lieutenant. I gotta get up and get it. All I'm focused on is winning. Not got a cheat code. We win until the clock gon' hit zero. I'm fighting my way back like I was Nemo. Do it, I am a dynamic duo. Win. That's right, my nickname is winning. Gotta walk in the building, gotta inspire the children. Wanna see my ambition, I'm not a regular civilian.